Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Booyah is right. Happy Monday, even though it's a therapy Monday or whatever you want to call it. Another Browns loss. We're going to dive into it. A lot to get to today. All kinds of Browns topics. But before we do, Mikey.
Yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed show. We were having a little pre-show discussion on one of the topics we're going to get to in a sec. And I know some people are going to get very mad at least one person on the panel because we have two very differing opinions. We'll get to that in a few minutes, but before we do that, a reminder that FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, and they're making sure you're ready for every kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that $5 bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the apps. So, are you ready to play? If you are, download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. Shotgun reactions to yesterday's 21-17 loss in London. Bull, you're up first.
All right. I'm going to save a lot of the stuff on Kevin Stefanski because yesterday was the final straw for me for Kevin Stefanski. I'll explain why later. This is another inexcusable loss. They had this game. They played well. The offense played just well enough to win. The defense till the end played well enough to win. And in the end, the Browns do what they do, is find a way to lose. They always find a way to lose, even games and I don't want to hear about the talent level because they were winning. The Vikings were short offensive linemen. The Vikings were starting Carson Wentz. Don't tell me about talent level. Tell me about finishing the game. Once again, the Browns could not finish the game. Dillon Gabriel was okay. He was all right. Didn't cost them the game. Didn't win them the game. And there's just so much to get to. That's my quick reaction. Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same. Like, we're going to slug it out later.
Yeah.
This is not a good football team. We knew they weren't a good football team. We said all summer long, what a brutal start to the schedule. This could be an 0-6 start. Well, guess what? They're 1-4 with one to go. We said all summer, not a lot of talent here. It's 12 rookies. Like, this, it's playing out exactly as we thought it would. So I'm not terribly surprised. It was very winnable yesterday. Mikey and I picked them to win the game. I thought they were going to win the game. It was right there for them to win, and they didn't win it. Why didn't they win it? Because they're not a good football team.
Got to be better. Got to coach better.
That sounds like Kevin Stefanski's press conference. Got to be better. I got to be better. They got to be better.
I understand the comments, Jay, but it's on me. It's on me.
Yeah. And that's a really tired, old.
You see how annoying that is? You pulled up to see G. Bush talk. You see them. You wanted to see G. Bush get emotional, but then he gave you that. See what happens when people give you that. See, that doesn't do you any service. That don't do you no good. Because what starts to happen is people start to think you feeding them mouth service, lip service. You saying that you got to be better, but week after week, we keep seeing that. We keep seeing the time management. We keep seeing the poor penalties. We keep seeing all these other things where it's the fourth quarter, it's time to make plays. You don't make the plays. At some point in time, like I always told y'all, at the end of the day, G. Bush been saying this for 4 weeks, 4 years, 4 or 5 years, 10 weeks, right? Thousands, whatever time period you want to get to it. What have I been telling y'all? After a certain point in time, there's going to run out of excuses. It's not going to be Baker or Odell or Jarvis or Nick Chubb ain't available, but Jed Wills ain't playing, and you keep going. And by the way, does the offense look really different from that in Deshaun Watson? We said Deshaun Watson threw a Molotov cocktail and blew up the offense is still that. Joe Flacco didn't look no different. You thought you was going to 2023? That wasn't no different. You got Dillon Gabriel in there. Offense is still the same. It's still the little short dink and dunk. At the end of the day, sometimes you got to look at the man that's been here through it all. And that's why we get to Kevin Stefanski at the top of the show.
Yeah, we were going to talk about Gabriel first, but I think everybody's so hot on Stefanski that we had to move him up. He'll be our first topic after Shotgun Reactions. Exactly what I expected. I said 24-21 Minnesota. Offense would look a little better. Gabriel would play okay. I think all of that stuff I didn't see anything that surprised me. Nothing at all made me say, "Wow, I didn't expect that." The one thing, if I did have to say what surprised me most, was that our defense wasn't a little bit better. I thought the defense with Carson Wentz at quarterback would play a little bit better than they did. But at the end, I thought it would be a loss. It was a loss. When I watched Mike Vrabel last night take his young Patriots, who are exactly where we were a year ago, they were bottom of the barrel. When I watched him take his New England team into Buffalo and win, could have been ours. He was home. We let him walk. We decided that we're all double down on Stefanski, and you get what you get. I'll go back to what I always say. It is about culture. Our culture is a loser's culture. We don't have dogs. I know it's the NFL. I get it. David Njoku, I can't see you laughing 10 seconds after we lost a game we should have won. Can't see it. I get it. I know that's what they do. They meet. They shake hands. How's the wife? How's the kids? Miss you. Good seeing you again. When the fans hurt more than the players hurt, there's a problem. And I think that starts with culture. I don't know that you'll see any Mike Vrabel's players doing that. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe. I don't remember seeing Belichick's players do that. The thought of losing has to be unacceptable to every person in the building. Unacceptable. And we've accepted losing. We're okay with it. So that's where we are.
All right, with that, let's dive into the topic that everyone wants to get to, and that is about the Browns head coach. It's brought to us by Mazda, moving the game forward for those who believe it's not just about playing the game. It's about redefining it, because these moments do more than win. They push what's possible, reminding us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning, and just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda. Mazda, move, be moved. That is the fastest we've ever gotten through shotgun reactions, and I think it is for good reason. We all came in hot today about the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, none other than Kevin Stefanski. I'm going to ask this question simply, and Bull, I want you to kick us off, because you even wouldn't tell me your full thoughts on Stefanski in our pre-show meeting. But is the Browns' biggest problem right now the head coach, Bull?
No, it's not their biggest problem, but it's a problem. He is a problem. The biggest problem is the owner. I mean, so you can't fix that. So he's the biggest problem. And there are problems, obviously, talent-wise, certainly. So I'm not going to say Kevin Stefanski's the biggest problem necessarily, but I no longer think he's part of the solution. And there's a few reasons why, and then I'll tell you what put me over the top yesterday. First of all, this has been and still is, and I think will continue to be, a very undisciplined team. Mm-hmm. They make stupid mistakes all the time. They do stupid things that good organizations don't do. You want to know one of those little things, which I'm not even know if any of you guys noticed this. On that final drive when the Browns had the ball, as big a long shot as it was, so they were going to score a touchdown to win, they get the ball with 25 seconds. They complete a pass to Isaiah Bond. You guys remember that at midfield? Yep. What did Isaiah Bond do the second he caught the ball? Does anybody see that?
He signaled for a first down.
He signaled for a first down. That's clown behavior. And that clown behavior happens because the coach allows it to happen. No, it's not the coach's fault. No. The coach lets crap like this go down all the time. There's little instances that all of these things on their own are not a big deal. But when you add them all up, it's a big deal. That is clown behavior. I'm telling you, and fine, prove me wrong. There is no player on the Kansas City Chiefs doing a celebration of a first down when you have almost no chance to win. Who knows? You could have wasted the 2 seconds that they needed at the end. It's so silly. Things like that happen all the time. Pre-snap penalties. The special teams disasters. Constantly. Unacceptable just mistakes that we see time and time again, year after year. Nothing changes. When we heard that Kevin Stefanski was allowing Deshaun Watson he was not being criticized in film work, unlike other guys, I was like, what is happening here? When DTR doesn't even know he's playing before a game, is completely unprepared. What is happening here? Why do these things not happen with other teams? Kevin Stefanski's a smart guy, but that doesn't make you a good football coach. I'm not even saying he's a terrible football coach. He's just And I think it's time for a new. Now, I got zero faith that the guy that replaces him is going to be any better. So I don't know. We just got to get lucky because Jimmy Haslam doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Anybody that thinks he's a good owner is as clueless as he is. Just because he spends money doesn't make him a good owner. He's a horrible owner. And any smart person in football will tell you he's a horrible owner. He is a buffoon. There's no doubt about it. And it's a buffoon organization. So I don't know if you can salvage things without Kevin Stefanski, with the next guy. But the only two excuses I ever hear of why to keep Kevin Stefanski is 2-time coach of the year and, well, he's better than what we had. Well, that doesn't matter. The goal is not to be mediocre. The goal is to win a championship. And maybe that's impossible with this organization and this owner. Maybe it's never going to happen. But it doesn't mean you give up and accept mediocrity because of that. And the final, and I'll say this. I've been a little wishy-washy on Kevin Stefanski for the last year. And I blame Jason. And this is honestly a very big compliment to Jason. I really don't care. Anybody that knows me knows this. I care about almost nobody in the media what they think about me. I make fun of other people in the media, which a lot of media members don't do. It probably hurt. I know not probably. I know with 100% certainty it has hurt my career along the way. That's just who I am. I can't help it. If I don't like you, I'm going to say it. That's me. I respect very few members of the Cleveland media. There's almost nobody in the Cleveland media that I care what they think about me. Jason's one of like 3 people that I care what he thinks about me. And Jason has been so steadfast, and he may end up being right in the long run. I don't know. About Kevin Stefanski, that it's made me doubt myself a little bit on Kevin Stefanski. I got to admit that. And if you know me, I almost never doubt myself. I always go with my gut. But he's made me hesitate a little bit, which ultimately is my fault, not his. But it just shows the respect I have for Jason. But the way to me, using those timeouts on defense yesterday, Jason's going to give me the reason why. Maybe he'll talk me into it. I have no idea. The idea that he was calling these timeouts because the Vikings are going to supposedly run out the clock. What is he talking about? A field goal would, if a field goal would have won the game, then I understand calling the timeouts. But a field goal ties the game. The Vikings don't want to settle for a field goal. They want to score a touchdown. So they're not going to play the clock too much. And by the way, when he called the second timeout, it was first down. So if the Vikings wanted to, they could have run the clock out anyway.
You're out of timeouts to make them kick.
Exactly. Yes. So they could have done it anyway. So the only hope, in a way, was that they either didn't score, and then you wouldn't need those timeouts, or they score quick, which they did at that point, and you need the timeouts. But they didn't. He didn't have them. I mean, listen. Are they going to score with 25 seconds left, even if they had 2 timeouts? Probably not.
The fact of the matter is, they got into position.
But they would have defended them a little differently, maybe, if they had 2 timeouts. But still, it was a long shot, but it would have been a much better shot with 2 timeouts, or at the very least, he should have had that last timeout.
Right.
Maybe you could argue using the 1 timeout, but once it gets to first down, I mean, what's the point? If they go till 3rd down, they could run the clock anyway, even with using that timeout. So that, to me, was crazy bad clock management, and that was the final straw. And I would fire him right now because I just don't see the point. And maybe I'll give him the rest of the season to somehow change my mind. The season's lost, but the one last thing I'll say, and I've rambled for a while, is that when we talk about lack of talent, I believe I picked the Browns to go 5-12 this year. I think was the record I had them. But when I picked them to be 5-12, I didn't think their defense would be as good as it is. Like, I thought their defense would be good. But the impact that the 2 rookies and that, what's his name, the D tackle they got from Seattle,
Collins,
and Malik Collins have had. Greg Newsom's improved play. Alex Wright playing better. The defense is way better than I thought it would be. Quinshon Judkins, I thought he'd be good, but when we were making predictions, we didn't even know how much he was going to play.
Right.
He's phenomenal. I don't know if people get that. This kid is unbelievable. He's the next great back. If you would have told me before the season that Quinshon Judkins is the next superstar back in the league and the defense would be this good, would I have picked the Browns to make the playoffs? No, I would not because I don't like the quarterback situation. But would I have picked them to win more than 5 games? Yeah, I probably would have.
Could have made a run at 500.
Maybe 7, maybe. As bad as the quarterback play is, and I thought it would be, and it's been even worse, to be fair. So maybe that evens out a little bit. But I would have certainly maybe picked them for 6 or 7. I don't know. Still not a very good team. But they're not a 2. I don't buy that they're a 2-15 talent team. I don't buy that. They're not that bad. And right now they look as bad as any team in the league. On offense, they're the worst team in the league. The worst team in the league. You've got the best back in the league. Okay? The offensive line play. There's KT Tunstall on the Sunshine Boys. This guy sucks. Can we put somebody in there? I mean, I get it. They're lacking at wide receiver. They don't have a left tackle. That's a problem. The talent's not good enough to really win. But when they've been in most of these games, finished a deal. And they can't. And to me, a lot of that goes on Stefanski. There you have it.
Jason,
The rebuttal. Let's go.
There's a lot there, and I actually agree with a lot of what you said at different points. I probably should have been taking notes the whole time. Here's what I'll say about Kevin. I've never said that he's Andy Reid or Mike Tomlin. I've never put him in that category, never once. I've never thought he was a top 3, top 5 head coach. But Bull, you hit on something that I think is imperative to the argument when you talk about ownership, and when Josh McDaniels, sorry, I lost his name. When Josh McDaniels interviewed for the Browns job, however many years ago that was, and he was like the top candidate. And everybody wanted him, and I know it turned out he wasn't a very good head coach, but at the time, he was a pretty hot commodity. And I think Dustin would probably be able to corroborate most or all of this. So he goes into the interview, sits down with Jimmy, and basically says, you need to fumigate the entire building. Everybody has to go. Everybody has to go. From the top all the way to security. The entire building has to be cleaned out, and you need to start over. You know what Jimmy did? He stood up, shook his hand, and put him on the plane. He wouldn't do it. Yeah. So, to me...
By the way, what was Josh McDaniels' petri dish? Like, where
Belichick.
Yeah.
New England. But...
so he knew what a winning building
what a healthy
looked like.
organization looks like,
yes.
and how it's supposed to be done. Kevin, to me, is really good at, and I know the record, but Kevin is good at navigating through all the obstacles that Berea presents. And you can, listen, I'm not going to argue with anybody who says they want the coach gone. You can build a great case to fire the coach. A great case when you look at less than 20 points and all that stuff. Yeah, you're right. Like, on paper, you can build a case, you look at that and go, God, he's got to go. That coach is awful. But I think when you understand the nuance of what you're dealing with in being in that building, I've seen the chaos that position has to deal with. And I've seen the head coach and the GM and the power struggle that happens every single time. And I look at the situation and I look at the fact that they don't have a quarterback, and you can scream and you can holler all you want. Boy, you still would have picked them to win 5 games because you got a 40-year-old quarterback and 2 rookie back. You're not going to win in this league with a 40-year-old quarterback. You guys all stood here and told me how much you wanted the 40-year-old quarterback. Well, you got him. He sucks. You can't. You can't.
He might
win.
end up with their only win.
You can't. No. This team's going to win games.
I hope so.
They are going to win games. This is a brutal start to the season. We knew it was going to be.
Yeah.
Everybody sat up here and said, "Oh my God, they might be 0-6."
But they got to win some games. Is what you can't finish 2-15.
Yes, and I think they will. And like Bo, you and I both said,
yeah.
This is a really good defense. It's going to keep them in games. It's going to give them a chance to win games at the end. That's exactly.
But
what
I didn't think
they've
it would
done.
be this good. I didn't think because
guess
I
what?
wasn't buying into the rookies being so impactful.
Guess what? You needed one stop yesterday. You didn't get it.
They didn't get it. It wasn't good enough.
You
You're
let
right.
them go 80 yards.
Denzel Ward, your second best player, blew that play.
And I'm not trying to blame the defense for the defense was great yesterday. But when you needed them most, they weren't there.
That's right.
Running game was great yesterday. When you needed them most, it wasn't there. Because it's not a good football team. If you want to blame the head coach for that, go ahead. You want to fire him? Go ahead. I've seen the dysfunction that comes with that, and I just think that, if you give the guy a quarterback and let him go, it can be very good. And, I know everyone's going to kill me, and everyone's like, you're on Stefanski's payroll or whatever. By the way, I'm the one who wrote the fact that he wasn't coaching Deshaun. I am. I'm the one that wrote that. Yeah. So don't tell me that I'm not critical of him, because I am. And you're 100% right with, some of the DTR nonsense that went on. You're right. You're 1,000% right with that. So it's not perfect. I just think, I just keep thinking back to that McDaniels thing, and I keep thinking back to, like, he wanted to clean out the building, and they told him, okay, see ya. Jimmy's not going to give him that control. He's going to be in the Friday meetings. He's going to be in the Monday meetings. And the way that they run things and the way that they operate things is so dysfunctional that it is very much a part of the organization. And until that is cleansed, and it's never going to be cleansed, it is a massive obstacle for any coach to overcome, which is why I said a couple weeks ago, I truly believe the Browns' only chance at actually winning at a high level is to get lucky on a quarterback like the Bengals did with Burrow. That is their only chance. Short of that happening, it don't matter who the coach is.
But
it
Jay,
don't matter who the GM is. They are not going to win.
You can't just get that piece right. And because of that, because I've heard you say that before, got to get lucky on the quarterback.
Yeah.
And that would help. But the problem is there's too many moving parts around that. Where an organization like Kansas City can get a Mahomes and ride a bunch of Super Bowl wins. New England can get lucky and get a Brady and win a boatload of rings. But the organizations, both of them, are great culture organizations. They don't have slop everywhere else.
Oh, but Jay, we don't know that the Patriots are. They had they sucked before Brady for the most part.
Yeah,
they've sucked since.
Bull, they won Super Bowls because of their defense. Go look at the numbers. Brady was always there, but they won a couple of Super Bowls because of their defense. So what I'm saying
Brady
is,
won without Bill.
you can run into a lucky quarterback. You can do that, Cincinnati. What have they done? They're a slap organization.
They are, but at least they went to the Super Bowl.
But did they win it? And have they been back? But,
no.
So what I'm saying is, you can get the right guy, Cincinnati, and you can muck it up.
I don't think anybody would call Buffalo a bastion of excellence, but they've got Josh Allen. Now, have they won a Super Bowl?
No, that's my point.
But guess what?
That's my
we
point.
still have another 10 years.
So my point is, like,
but Jay,
of
they
all
got
of
a
the
chance
things
to
that have
win
to
every
happen to win a Super Bowl, I agree with you. Quarterback is at the top. But there are a lot of other things that fall in place. And here's where I am, and I've been there. I have zero faith that this organization can get all of them right at the same time because they haven't gotten anything right. So, yeah, you do have to luck into a quarterback. I'll agree with that. But I have no faith that they can not muck everything else up to the point where they're actually going to win a Super Bowl.
G, before you go, Jason, there's one thing you didn't rebuke from Bull's thing that I know you said you wanted to, the timeouts late in the game. The clock management.
What was the explanation of that?
You want to do that now? I thought we would keep going on Kevin.
Continue on.
No, this is all on Stefanski.
All right.
Because Bull was upset with how he used the timeouts.
Okay,
and blamed Stefanski for that.
I
I'm
was
curious
too.
what your take on that is. Before
I don't
G,
have the
before
play-by-play in front of me.
I'll bring it up.
So you're talking the last defensive play when Minnesota scored. Once Jefferson made that catch down the sideline, to me, this is just me. Everybody can disagree with me. That's fine. The game flipped because now they're in field goal range.
Yeah.
So now it's a matter of preserving time on the backside. Whether they score a field goal or a touchdown, they are going to score. So you're trying to preserve as much time as you can to get the ball back. If you don't call timeouts there, they had 25 seconds. If he's not calling timeouts there, maybe they have 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 3 seconds.
I agree with that, but to Bull's point, and Bull, maybe I'm misremembering the play-by-play in this situation, but to me, I agree with you. When he caught that ball, I'm like, okay, they're game now.
Now it changes.
But
Now you're
could
trying
they,
to preserve time.
in my mind, they could have just not scored a touchdown. They could have
kicked the field goal,
run the clock out, and kicked the field goal. They didn't want to do that.
If they were willing to run the clock out and just kick a field goal, to me, if I'm the Browns, I can live with that.
Yeah,
I can
hell
live
yeah,
with
let
that.
them have
and you're
that.
going to leave with timeouts in your pocket.
No, you're no.
But if they're going to run the clock out, you're going to leave with timeouts in your pocket.
Yeah.
So what sense is that? Why are you going to leave with time? You're going to take them with you to next week? You're going to buy a steak dinner with them
here's
after
the
the
thing,
game?
Jason.
No,
I don't buy that was ever going to happen. Because if you're the Vikings, you want to score a touchdown.
Absolutely.
You don't want to just tie
You want to end the game.
So you're trying to score as quick as possible.
Yes, which is why Kevin is trying to preserve time. So if you're trying to score as quick as possible, you're going to leave something for yourself on the back end.
But you didn't have to preserve time because they were trying to score. They weren't slowing down the game.
Well, then let them score the touchdown and get the ball back. We've seen that before.
I'm all with that. That's what I was saying at the time.
But
let them in so you've got
I don't let them in because
they weren't that close.
No, I know, but
they were at the
like
three,
you,
then
I
let
felt
them
it's a
in.
fait accompli.
But
They're
here's
scoring a
the thing.
touchdown.
Once Kevin Stefanski calls the timeout, let's say they didn't score on that. They scored the touchdown right after Stefanski called the last timeout. Right?
I got to pull. I don't remember the play-by-play.
I'll bring it up here. Here we go.
I got the play-by-play in front of me right now.
I've got it pretty close. Go ahead.
So he uses the last timeout, and then on the next, so he uses the last timeout after they had just gotten the first down. What is the point of that? Because
if they score on the next play, you get the ball back.
But if they score on the next play, you get the ball back anyway. You still have the timeout. They weren't running clock at that point. There might have been, even if there was, I'd rather have 20 seconds left and a timeout than 25 and no timeouts. The Vikings weren't slow playing it. They were moving. They weren't trying to waste the clock there because they needed a couple of plays to be able to score potentially.
So when he took the timeout to save the 10-second runoff, did you like that or no?
I didn't like that either, but I could live with that one.
I could too.
I didn't like that one, but
it's the same concept.
It is the same concept. Ultimately, you're saving yourself 10 seconds.
You're trying to
where when you have the ball on offense, there are ways to stop the clock.
No, here's why I could live with that one. I didn't like it. After that play, it was third down. So you call the timeout there. If you stop them on the next play, then it's fourth down. And then I wouldn't have had a problem with him using the last timeout because it's fourth down. They got to kick a field goal.
Right.
And there's still a minute left, not 25 seconds left.
There would have been 59 seconds there.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have been okay with no timeouts and 59 seconds left.
That was the game. That third down was the game.
Right.
That was it.
Right.
And
I mean, it would have. They probably if they make the field goal, then you go to overtime, or maybe you would have. The Browns, in my opinion, should have had almost a minute left with no timeouts, or 25 seconds with at least one, if not two timeouts.
Well, they had it with 25 and none, so if they don't use their timeouts, they're going to have a lot less than that. They're probably going to have, 10, 15 and one?
So he called, wait a second, he called the timeout.
He called his first timeout after the Jefferson 20-yard catch down the sideline.
Right.
And that's when the game changed, to me.
And that was with 1:10 on the clock, Bull. So first down for Minnesota, 1:10 on the clock.
And that's
second timeout.
Now you're playing defense on the clock if you're the Browns from that point on.
Yes.
Second timeout came after the 2-yard pass to Jordan Mason where he did not get out of bounds.
And that was to avoid the 10-second runoff.
Yes.
He's trying to preserve time.
And then the third timeout came after the third and fourth play where he hit Jordan Addison on the left.
Right, and he got a first down.
And then he used his final timeout.
And he used his final. There was no point in using it there, that one here, because here's the thing. So they get the final. Let me bring up that play for a second. So it's a third down play. It's third and 4, right? They get a first down there was 54 seconds left. He called his last timeout. It was first down when he called the timeout. So at that point, two things were going to happen, right? If the Vikings wanted to just run clock, well, then they weren't going to score a touchdown at that point. They were going to or maybe one play, and that's it. And Jason, you said, well, you want to save time because what if they score on the first play? Well, if they score on the first play,
right? But if
the Vikings weren't like purposely running clock.
I think they're trying at that point. They're trying to leave Cleveland as little time as possible, obviously.
Right, but they also had to worry about because they wanted to score because they wanted to. Their priority was a touchdown there. They weren't going to just run clock. That was my point.
The last time out, I could probably I see where you're coming from with that. I think that one I see why they did what they did, and I think that's one of those 50-50, however you want it to be. I had no issue with the first two timeouts. The way
See, I feel like the first timeout, okay. The second timeout to me was the 50-50 one. You think the third one is. I think the second one's the 50-50 one, and the third one, it was a terrible decision. Because the Vikings could have still run the clock out even more if they wanted to, in theory, even after that timeout, because it was only first down.
The way that it ended, certainly they could have used a timeout there, and it would have been to their benefit. But I'm looking at it's impossible to know. If they get the ball back with 25 seconds, had they not called the timeout, what did they get it back with? 17, 15, 13, 11? It's impossible to know.
Yeah, I mean.
So then is it better to have 17, 15, 13 in a timeout or 25 and no timeout?
Well,
how long did it take him to get up and clock it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'll hear
never
you.
know, but
I'll hear you on the one timeout. I didn't have an issue with the other two.
G. Bush, you've been very quiet for the last 15 minutes on this, and I know you and I, who spoke last night, you are not unopinionated when it comes to this topic. The floor is yours, my friend.
Well, let's start off by saying this. The most damning part about this situation is we talk about all the time what Kevin Stefanski wants to do, what Kevin Stefanski's game plan is, what his playbook is. Think about this. The Cleveland Browns did run the ball well. They had a 100-yard rusher in Quinshon Judkins. The Cleveland Browns didn't turn the ball over, right? No turnovers. Dillon Gabriel threw for 2 touchdowns, right? The defense did hold the Vikings under a league average of 23 points. They held them to 21. By the way, we talk about being opportunistic. They didn't give the ball over, but guess what? The Browns got 2 takeaways, right? They did all of that, and I believe they won time of possession too, McNuggets. Is that true? Am I correct in saying that, or was it close?
It was close. It was
It
very
was close.
I'll tell you the exact right now, G, if you want to know the exact minutes. The Browns had possession for 30 minutes and 29 seconds. The Vikings 29-31. So
they won
essentially 50-50.
So 50-50, but they did win time of possession. But guess what? You still did not score more than 17 points. You had everything go the way you said you need to win football games for the Cleveland Browns, and you did not win the football game. And that is because it's not necessarily about what his offense is and how you're going to move with it, even though we'll get to how bad it is. It's the fact that you still have other things holding you back. You still have penalties holding you back. You still have people not doing the right things holding you back. You still get long touchdowns called all the way back, and we just talked about the time management thing. But by the way, special teams has been bad for the Browns since under Kevin Stefanski. We got to get very specific, because sometimes when we do narrative-based things and we talk about whether you're a good coach or not, you got to get very specific. You know, I do the field breakdowns, and I watch this thing, and I watch all the game, all 22, and I've just been telling y'all for the same reasons for, I guess, well over 6 weeks, or 6 years, excuse me. The Cleveland Browns offense is not imaginative. They run stick routes, random out patterns, and random flat routes. They got guys turning around, running up the field, turning around, sitting down for 4 or 5 yard passes. The reason why you have no separation is because you are not imaginative under no way, shape, or form. We talk about all the time about how great your offense is. They are running the most rudimentary offense I've ever seen in my life, and it happens week after week. You think top flight receivers want to play in this high school playbook? Did you see the difference between the Kevins? Kevin O'Connell, who had way more things going wrong. We sat up here and talked about how the Vikings had 3 offensive linemen out, right? We talk about the Vikings have Carson Wentz, right? We laugh about Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz not only was Carson Wentz himself, but he was hurt. He hurt his shoulder in the game and had to get shot up and come back on in. By the way, their starting running back wasn't there. Guess what? They found a way to work, and they fumbled the ball 2 times. But guess what? You know what he did? He said, I got a guy, Justin Jefferson. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spam him. I'm going to throw him the ball more than G. Bush gets refinancing of his mortgages in his junk file. Stop telling me I'm not refinancing at this percentage. I told you I'm just working on something right now. But the reality of the situation is it doesn't just happen with this situation. You can go league to league. You can go week to week. Hold on, let me just bring this up real quick. Hey, did you know Mac Jones threw for 342 yards? On the road against the Rams, 342, and they won in overtime. You know who his number 1 receiver was? It wasn't Kittle. It wasn't Brandon Ayuk. It wasn't none of them. Debo Samuel been gone. It was Kendrick Bourne, 10 catches, 142. Kevin Stefanski,
who was known as the drop king before that game.
They can't get all the receivers combined to get 10 catches for 142 in any games. The problem is this. We keep giving him passes because you're scared. You are scared. Anybody who is scared to say, I am unwilling to go for the unknown and stay safe and take these L's, that means you're living in your fears. And the problem that you're going to have is when you keep losing this way, you can say the quarterback is this and the quarterback is that and the quarterback is in 26. Maybe your coach is in 26. Maybe your general manager need to be in 26 too. Because at the end of the day, the players that you're accumulating, the guys that you want picks for, they're sitting here looking at him. And he preaching, guys, we got to be better. No, they say, no dust, Sherlock. You got to be better. I know what plays we running. I know the timeout issues that you got. And they're looking at him. And you know what losing breeds? It breeds 3 things. Either apathy, resentment, or you got people that just check out. And all 3 of them continues to lead to losing. This is a human battle. This is all about human 101, nature. And he's devoid of any feelings or emotions, because if he would give you something in the postgame, he may be able to reach people. But you know what? When you give the same answers, it says you don't care. Don't tell me something on camera that you preaching the opposite behind camera. At the end of the day, when Quinshon Judkins was talking about how it's 5 games in, he's a beast, he's a monster. He said, at Ohio State, everything was about winning. Every day was about winning. It's about you either win today or you lose tomorrow. It's about winning. That's the only thing that matters. So yeah, it's a culture shock when you get here and you 1-4 and it's frustrating. So you know what you're telling him? Even your young players, you telling him it's okay to lose just because you want to be comfortable and have the same coach. What kind of noise is that? At the end of the day, if I got 60 people in the locker room that need to go in the field and believe they can win every day, and the coach is sitting here year after year, I didn't see you waste Nick Chubb's time. I didn't see you waste Baker Mayfield's time. And as a matter of fact, we said Deshaun Watson was the problem last year, but how's the offenses changed? Joe Flacco looked the same. DTR looked the same. We said put the supercomputer in. Guess what? Dillon Gabriel looked the same. At some point, this is not an anomaly. This is a feature of what he does. Sometimes you got to admit, you just might not be good at your job, bro. Maybe if you just give the play calling up and do something, and we always talk about the 20 points. This is the most damning part, and I'm going to just give it back because this is irrefutable. The time you was getting 20 points, it was all under Ken Dorsey and Jameis Winston, who we said was a travesty. Was bum. Now Ken Dorsey can get 300 yards every week. He's over with the Dallas Cowboys. By the way, I always said it. I found it was funny. Alex Van Pelt got scapegoated. He got fired when he got Coach of the Year. How does your offensive coordinator get fired when the defensive coordinator won defensive assistant of the year? Myles Garrett won defensive player of the year. Kevin Stefanski won his second coach of the year. And they had 5 different quarterbacks play. Joe Flacco came off the bench, came into the game, and they went to the playoffs. But the offensive coordinator got fired after that? The reality is Kevin Stefanski been scapegoating and skating on people way back when it was Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham Jr. The problem is you guys is just now catching on to it. Because I told you, once you put them rookies in, tick, tick, tick. You on the clock because we watching you. We done changed everything else except for the coach. Say I'm lying.
We haven't changed the general manager either.
Well, he's on the clock too. And by the way, let's not get to before I give it back to you. I don't want to hear nobody talking about they ain't got the talent. Y'all told us from Jump Street you was lockstep. We make decisions as an organization. Stefanski and Barry and Stefanski. Guess what? Y'all said y'all got the same approach, top down. You know what they said? We want analytics. They said analytics from top. There ain't no football people in there. It's all analytics people. So the people you chose, you pulled them right off your old IBM spreadsheets. They didn't show up and say, put me on the squad. You're the one that said, go get Joe Flacco. You're the one messed around and gave Kenny Pickett all the reps and just jettisoned him out of the building when nobody else got reps. And now you want us to give you a reprieve? Because what? You picked the quarterback room. You chose these people. You're the one who told G. Bush for 3 years in Project Stockpile as I emailed you. What about the receivers? We like our receiver room. What about the offensive linemen? We're going to figure it out. We'll just move some things around. I told you was taking L's. And by the way, yeah, you don't have linemen because you swung and missed on a bunch of other people. Where's Jed Wills at? That was a top 10 pick. I'm not going to see, you can't have it both ways. You picked the people, you chose them, they turned out not to be good, and now you want us to tell you to give you the keys to the car to draft more people and another quarterback? When this one, nah, I told you, tick, 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 you on the clock. Go ahead, Jay.
Browns have scored less than 20 points in 21 of their last 24 games, going back to week 18 of 2023.
That is astonishing.
Yeah.
That is, I knew that.
The 3 games that they were over were with Jameis.
That is astonishing.
Yeah.
It really is. That is incompetence of the highest order.
So how many games should they win with Joe Flacco and 2 rookies as quarterbacks? How many games should this team win?
I'm not going to put it on wins and losses, Jay. I'll tell you why. I all of you guys say the truth. Like, if I listen to you guys in a vacuum, Bull, I'm 100% with you. If I listen to Jason, I'm mostly with you. G, I'm 100% with you. The thing to me that stands out the most out of what everybody said I'm not firing him in the middle of the season, not because he's great, because I have no idea what they would do.
It accomplishes nothing.
They would, there are goals to this season that don't include winning games. Jay told us about them from July. We got to figure out what we have here. So don't fire him in the middle of the season because you're going to screw that up. If you were going to fire someone in the middle of the season, he should have been fired last season. We should have hired Mike Vrabel.
I said, if you're going to fire him after last year. Why are you going to fire him now? Why? That doesn't make any sense. You were 3-14 last year. Everything was a disaster. You want to fire him?
Agreed.
Sweep everybody out last year.
Yeah, but that ship has sailed. We'll have to watch Mike go do his thing in New England, just like we're watching Baker do his thing in Tampa. So I'm with you. I think at the end of the year, I do want to evaluate the rest of the season. Let's see what we have. It's one game with a rookie quarterback. I got to see more before I make judgment calls on Dillon Gabriel. He took care of the football. He was not nearly as accurate as I thought he was going to be. But our passing yards total is that doesn't matter who you play at quarterback, unless it's Jameis Winston or Joe Flacco, you get 150 yards. That's what you get.
They don't throw to receivers.
They don't.
It's hard to pile up passing yards when you don't throw the ball to receivers.
The reason you don't throw to your receivers is because you've got a major blind spot at evaluating receivers. And every receiver that you have brought in here for the last 6 years has been absolute garbage. I'll wait for a name that hasn't been.
Judy hasn't been garbage. I know
Judy's garbage.
Nah,
I'm sorry,
he's
Bull.
not garbage.
Bull, I'm sorry.
This year, he can't.
He's been garbage this year. I agree.
He can't catch herpes from
He
a
certainly
hooker.
wasn't garbage last year. From a hooker?
Can't catch herpes from a hooker.
No, I hear you. Listen,
this year.
He's been terrible this year.
I'm just calling it
He
what it
wasn't
is.
garbage last year.
Here's
He was
the
good
problem,
last year.
Use protection out there.
when you're a quarterback and you've got no wide receivers, and you've got pieces of I thought the offensive line looked a little better, but when you have pieces of the offensive line that couldn't play in the Canadian League right now,
Left tackle's the biggest.
and by the way, where do you start?
The rest is. Although I'd noticed some misses in the middle. Guys who are normally rock solid.
And I wonder how much of that, Jay, is because they're so bad over there.
Joel got beat on a couple.
I saw that he got beat a couple times.
I thought, wow, that's
uncharacteristic. You said something I want to circle back on because I heard it too. Judkins talking about the culture at Ohio State. Oh no, we didn't have any losing days. And listen, in his entire year at Ohio State, they lost a fluky game on a loophole that the head coach found in the rules that has since been changed.
Yeah.
Other than that, his 365-day experience at Ohio State was like heaven, football heaven. Now, the Michigan game, killer, but they bounced back and they won the grand prize. And they learned from that loss. Have we learned from our losses? Now, how long will it take before he can't wash the losing culture off of his winning culture? How long before he looks around and says, damn, this is status quo. This is acceptable. I'm going to read you guys a stat that I think says a lot about the head coach. And it's not an anomaly because we've got 7 years we've got enough sample size to say that this is a characteristic of Kevin Stefanski coach teams. In terms of penalties against, in 2019...
2019 wasn't him. I think 2020 was his first year.
2020 was Kevin's first year.
Yeah.
19
Okay.
was Freddie.
Yeah.
2020,
Yeah.
eighth most penalized team in the league.
Yeah.
2021, 7th. 2022, 7th. 2023, 2nd. 2024, 5th. This year, we're 10th. So you've got 6 years to look at. And I've had general managers tell me, Rich McKay, the old GM of the Bucs, used to say, if you want to know the mentality of the room of do they hear the coach's voice, look at the penalties at the end of the year. And the fact that we are in all of those seasons, the worst 10 in the league, I mean, you can't mix in a middle of the pack one year.
I wonder where, I bet you it's even worse. To me, the most egregious penalties are pre-snap.
Yes.
That is the worst, and his mostly seem to be pre-snap.
Like personal fouls, just like stupid.
Right.
I bet you they're even worse than those.
I don't know how you'd separate them, Bull,
Yeah.
but I think you're probably right because
Yeah.
it seems like, and it also, like the most inopportune times, you get these penalties.
There are some years where like really good teams lead the league in penalties. So I think you have to look at the individuality of them. But I 100% agree. pre-snapper, absolute.
Yeah.
You cannot have those.
I
And
could give you the ranks.
there are some teams, the old Raiders teams led the
I feel
league
like
in
the
penalties
Ravens
every year.
or like a couple of really good teams. Were
The
like,
Ravens and the Chiefs are high. I'm on the penalty counter right now.
but-
This year, the Browns have 14 pre-snap penalties,
That's insane.
which is the Vikings lead the NFL with 20.
If
So
they have
That's 3 a game.
If they have 14 pre-snap penalties, I'm guessing the terrible tackles are probably responsible for 8 or 9 of them themselves.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Miles gets a lot of
He does.
false
Miles
starts.
gets a lot of
But
Last year-
I'll live with Miles because
It's the ones with Miles driving. He's so good. He doesn't need.
I
to
know, but also part of the reason he's so good is because he's off on the ball movement.
He doesn't. He could start late and he would.
He
get there.
could, but he knows that sometimes the difference between getting to the quarterback and getting to air is a tenth of a second.
My problem is
Gee, hold on. I got the stat.
yeah.
They
Go ahead.
finished first in the NFL in 23 and 24 in pre-snap penalties.
Say what?
Yeah.
There you go.
First.
Browns
Number
first
one
in the NFL,
Yeah.
23,
But-
24.
I don't want to
And
get
where
us
are they so
sidetracked
far
on
this year,
penalties.
Mike?
but
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're tied for 10th.
I don't even want to get us sidetracked on penalties. I only bring that up is because that's a characteristic of.
Hang on. Go ahead, G. What were you
but here's the thing. I need to see on good teams. You see players check other players. When you get stuff brought back because of penalties, there are players that are saying, "Listen,
Yeah, we
they
don't
pull
have
you
that here.
aside on the
No, we
sideline.
don't have that.
Hey, listen, we can't have that.
No, we don't
and
have that here.
if it has to be me and you fighting, then we just gonna have to fight it out. But you'll understand that the rest of us, you're hurting the rest of the team. But the problem with it is, Jay, and I'll give it right back to you, is it's starting to look like I even start to see some of the veterans kind of not. It's like they losing it. It don't hit them. It don't matter. Like the David and Njoku thing. I was watching his behavior. I'm like, bro, you know you losing, right?
Did that bother you too?
You know you losing, bro. Like I know you jumped over somebody, but you know you losing, right? You know you. At this point, it seems like people is already starting to be like, oh, listen, I got the contract. We good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just go ahead and do my thing. That's when it gets. That's the alarming part, because a lot of people hit me up. G. Bush, what's so good? I seen a lot of the veterans don't even seem like they got that want to, and I said, well, that's what losing is. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I do think the culture has devolved to the point where everybody's accepting it.
They are not
It
a
is.
good team, and they knew going in they were
Yeah.
not. They knew at the start of the year they were not a good team. And
The Patriots weren't supposed to be either.
In fairness,
I
the
do think
Patriots
Apple-
have a quarterback they drafted in the top
They
5.
do, and I like them a lot. But I also
and
think
that-
that
It's
I
not
think,
an apples to apples
I mean-
comparison, I don't think.
Not yet. And by the way, the Browns might finish with a better record than the Patriots.
Yeah,
I
who
don't
knows?
know. All I know is from watching the teams. If I wasn't even looking at the scoreboard,
Yeah.
I just see 2 different cultures. I see a different culture in New England than I see in Cleveland.
Browns are not going to the playoffs. Obviously, they're not going to go winning
course.
record. Obviously, I do think that there are wins coming.
Yeah.
This was such a brutal start, and we all said it. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew this was an 0-6 start, staring them in the face, and they lucked into one win. They had opportunities actually for a couple others.
You know what? I give them Cincinnati, but Green Bay was also a game they should have lost.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you just flip-flop those.
Flip-flop, yeah.
We should be 1-4. That's what we should be. That's where we are. And, the other
no, they
games,
should
the
have won
Ravens.
yesterday. They should have won that game.
Yeah, but a lot of games, they've had a
could've.
chance.
I would say they could have
They
won
were
that
in
game.
position. They were in position.
By the way,
to
the
win
division
Bengals.
stinks. The Bengals are terrible.
Yeah.
The Ravens
Division's
are terrible.
awful.
Yeah.
The Bengals, I think the Bengals are crazy if they don't go out and get a veteran quarterback.
No, I want them to lose every game the rest
Well,
of the year.
I know you do. Of course you
I
do.
don't want
but
the season's over.
Like
I don't want them to
this
do it.
division is
It's
winnable.
Pittsburgh's
for
going to win the
anybody.
division going away.
Out of 5 games,
We could beat Pittsburgh next week. It wouldn't shock me.
It would shock me.
It wouldn't shock me.
It would shock me.
I would not be floored if we beat Pittsburgh.
Out of 5 games, they have put themselves in position to win the game at the end of the game in 3 of the 5 games.
Yes,
get it
that's
done.
a fact.
Because they're not a good team. They're not a good football team.
Jason, if you're
And
in
they
the
have
game, you got to
terrible
find a way to win. It's
They
not
have
just-
terrible quarterback play, and they're not a good football team.
but
I know-
they were winning the game yesterday.
Yes, they should have won, and they
they
didn't
blew it,
because
but-
they're not a good
but-
football.
and-
If you want to blame the coach for that and fire him, go
Yes,
ahead.
But
I'm not arguing
the
that
statement,
anymore. I wouldn't fire him,
the
but I
throw it out
understand why people
statement,
would.
though, that they're not a good football team. Like anytime they're not good.
They're not.
Okay, that is just a loser's mentality.
It's the reality.
Okay, it might be the reality, but Jay, sometimes perception is reality. Sometimes if you constantly tell yourself you're not a good team, guess what? You're not a good team. This is a team good enough to win.
And
So
they
I
will.
can't say they're not
but
a good team.
they have
we got
played-
an above average defense. We've got an above average running back. Yes, you're right. we're not good at wide receiver. We're not good at offensive line. But
you can't win consistently with terrible quarterback play.
No
matter how good the rest of the team is.
And so you can spin this any way you want, and you can blame whoever you want.
True.
Ultimately, it comes down, in this league more than any other league, it's the one position, and they don't have anything anywhere remotely close to competent play there.
Yes, but you know what? I'll just say that. And you're right. Ultimately, they're not a good football team. But Kevin Stefanski is part of the reason they're not a good football team.
Sure, he's the head coach.
And the organization is a big part of the reason because, as G said, and he's right, Barry and Stefanski work together. They haven't done a good enough job putting together a good team. And that's why we're in a position in year 6 of their time together where they're essentially starting over again.
They have to start over because of the debacle at quarterback. That's why they have to start over. Otherwise, they would not be starting over.
But here's the thing. They made every single decision, Jason.
Of course.
They made the decision.
And you were in favor of it.
Hey, they made the. I'm not the one that's running the Browns.
Everybody here was, except Jay. Everybody was in favor of it. And it was wrong.
But they get paid dollars to do this. They decided Baker wasn't it. Nobody held a gun to their head. They said they didn't want to pay him.
And again, let's keep it 100. Baker contributed to that.
The Baker thing has been so misconstrued and twisted.
In the NFL, this is a results-based business.
Yes,
you made the decision. Yeah. You said you didn't want Baker. That's fine. We're gonna roll with it. You said you wanted Deshaun. We roll with it. Okay, cool. But the thing is that we got to start saying if the quarterback is the most important position, then the person who is coaching the quarterback should be second.
You know, honestly, the best reason to fire him at the end of the year that nobody has mentioned, there is a smoking gun out there. If Jackson Dart isn't good, he's great, like Jaden Daniels type great.
Oh yeah,
that's reason enough to fire everybody. Because you just got done telling me there was one quarterback in this draft you liked.
Lose to the Saints though yesterday?
They did.
I mean, we got a long way to go.
He did not play well yesterday.
We got a long way to go. But if Dart plays like real, I don't mean Bo Nix. I mean Jaden Daniels. He has to be phenomenal. If he is phenomenal this year, that's reason enough to fire these guys. Because you can look at him and say, you told me there was only one quarterback worth taking. As much as I like Mason Graham and as good as I think Mason Graham's going to be, I'd rather have a franchise quarterback in that spot.
Yeah.
So that alone could be enough reason to sweep everybody out at the end of the season, regardless of how the Browns.
By the way, I know it's a different sport, but the Guardians were not a good baseball team, and they made the playoffs.
And they've got a great culture. Yeah. They've got a great culture.
And that's my point where I don't want to hear they're not a good team. The Guardians were not a good team. But their culture is phenomenal.
Got them over the top.
Their culture is phenomenal. Their front office is phenomenal. And it was enough to get them into the playoffs.
Browns got good.
And here's the thing with the Browns. We're saying they're not a good team. They could be 3-2 right now. The difference of winning and losing in the NFL is minuscule.
Yeah.
And so if we're good enough to be 3-2, but we're only 1-4, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the head coach. The culture sets the temperature for everybody in the room.
Yeah.
And right now, our thermostat's broken. It is busted.
Yeah.
And you mentioned rookie quarterbacks. Guys, let's pivot and talk about the Browns rookie quarterback who made his season debut yesterday. Actually, not technically a season debut, but his first career NFL start. Our Dillon Gabriel topic today is brought to us by Square. Your favorite neighborhood spots run on Square. There are certain businesses that truly make the neighborhood feel like home, whether it's the local sports bar, the coffee shop, or the corner deli. These are the places that bring people together. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses all across the world. You can go to square.com/go/LockedOnNFL to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spots. You'll be happy you did. Square will see you in the neighborhood. We talked about Kevin Stefanski at length there, guys, and we haven't touched on Dillon Gabriel's NFL debut as a starter. 2 touchdowns, no picks. He played essentially a clean game. Jay, you mentioned you were a little disappointed in some of the accuracy you saw from Dillon Gabriel, so I'll let you go first on this. What grade overall would you give Dillon in his first NFL
I give him a C. And that takes into account a lot of things. The wide receivers he has to throw to, the limited play calling, and maybe that's because of the wide receivers that you don't have. It's an offense that's very Kevin Stefanski-esh. He loves the tight ends. He had some open throws that he missed on. Not a lot, but he had some that would have helped move the chains that he missed on. Again, when you look at our ball chart and where the ball was going when he dropped back the pass, I mean, it looks like a rugby game. it looks like we're just pitching the ball through. It does. Doesn't it look like a rugby game? Here, you take it. And
he completed 5 passes longer than 5 yards and 3 longer than 10.
But you know what? That's not just on him.
Yeah.
That was
the plan.
chart looks exactly like the charts from game 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
That's Kevin Stefanski. Now, I think what Kevin Stefanski has realized is I've got receivers that can't get open, and when they do, they're not reliable at catching the football. That's a big thing, guys. That's a big thing. Now, that's where I'd blame Andrew Berry. I think Andrew Berry knocked the draft out of the park this year. I would love, Jay, if they were transparent and they actually pulled back the curtain and let us know. Like, was this maybe the first draft where DePodesta had less influence because they've been so horrible the last
Jay's
5?
favorite boogeyman.
The boogeyman.
Yeah, well, listen, at the end of the day.
Well, we've sidetracked off of Dillon Gabriel here.
We have, but I don't know that I can properly assess anybody when they're playing with who they're playing with. Like, I just don't know. What would Dillon Gabriel look like in Tampa's offense? I don't know. All I know is the quarterbacks, with the exception of Flacco and Winston, all 10 of them that have played under Kevin Stefanski, with the exception of Baker for the year that took us to the playoffs, they've all looked the same. Our offense looks the same. We've got a blind spot at wide receiver. I think everybody here would agree that. The reason I drilled down on DePodesta is I would love to know that if he's gone after this year and there's a book written and somebody can actually tell me, yeah, in 24 they took the keys away to the draft, or in 25 draft, they took his keys away. Is that why we got the draft right?
I doubt it.
How did we suddenly nail an NFL draft? Like, who had more input this year?
I think you're putting way too much on DePodesta. We have no idea what he does, so what's the point of even debating
Which is why I started it by saying I'd love to know.
But, and I also think you put too much on the wide receivers. It's simple.
They suck, Bull.
They don't.
Worst I've ever seen.
Jerry Jeudy had 1,300 yards last year.
Terrible.
He's not terrible.
Terrible.
All right. I don't think he's terrible.
I've seen him
we'll
5.
Agree to disagree.
Bull, all I can say is
we're not going to convince each other. We'll agree to disagree.
I saw him in 5 games this year.
Yeah.
He is a below average wide receiver. He's not. We were debating for a while ago. You were saying he's a wide receiver 1. I'm like, I don't see a world where he's a wide receiver 1 right now. Right now he's a below average wide receiver. You going to pick him up for fantasy?
No, because they don't have a quarterback.
So McNuggets, let me ask you a question.
G just told you that Kendrick Bourne had 130 yards yesterday. It's about the offense and the quarterback. The Bills don't have receivers that are any good. None of the Bills receivers are better than Jerry Jeudy.
We don't know that the Niners quarterback is
Let me get to Dillon Gabriel.
What grade you got?
So listen, this could have been a B- game for Dillon Gabriel. There's one pass that he missed. They ran a bootleg that was on the first down when they were trying to ice the game.
Talking about.
Yep, I do too.
They ran a bootleg, and it's difficult for the play design because they booted to the right, which is against the grain for a lefty.
That's exactly right. It's a very tough throw.
And it's easy looking, but it's tough. He sailed the ball. He was wide open. That would have got you 5 to 6 yards, put you in the position you can run the ball. That should have been game time. The boot didn't work. If he hits that, we're good. I thought he had a really nice throw on a corner route to David Njoku, put the ball right on the money in a nice little tight window.
Throw.
I thought he had a really nice touchdown pass to David Njoku where he zipped the ball in, really showed his arm strength.
Small window there, too.
Small window on the goal line. I thought he showed some things there. Also, he showed some mobility in the pocket. There's a couple of sacks that Joe Flacco would have took for -5. I thought he moved the pocket, got up in the pocket, and he did a good job of saying, okay, I know I'm going to get sacked here, but let me just move and make it more manageable. Let me make a move and try to, mitigate some of the damage. So I thought he did that as well. I think he did throw the ball to the out. We saw when we went to practice, I said, when he has time and can throw the outs because of his size and stature, he gets the window, he throws the ball with some timing and accuracy. He looks good on us. Where he struggles is the middle of the football field, where there's guys that are in his face. He had, I believe, one batted down ball at the line of scrimmage. He struggles to find those passing lanes in the middle of the field when you have to throw with a level of touch over top of people through a hole or two to figure out whether or not you got a passing lane. And most of the times when he does that, he tends to miss high. So if you take a look at a couple of those, if he make that one play, I give him a B-. I came around and gave him a C+. I think when you look at it, he was exactly what I thought it was. He gave you 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He gave you the gimme throws. He looked exactly like I thought he would look. Was it a world beater? No. Did he cost you the game? No. But he showed exactly what Dillon Gabriel is. He can make those certain throws. Sometimes he's going to have a little problem because of his stature. He has a serviceable arm. And I'll go with Earl said. He looks like a guy that could probably be in the league, a lot of years because he can learn the playbook quickly and serve as a backup in a backup role. Now, listen, I'm going to keep giving him more opportunities, keep putting him out there, see what he does. Maybe his ceiling gets a little higher. Maybe they open up the playbook. But I don't think I don't think anybody can give him lower than a C. And I can see where some people would even give him a B- or a B, given the fact that a couple throws here or there, that he could have put him in position.
Yeah, I'd give him a B because I said Friday I thought he'd be competent. He was competent. He played exactly pretty much how I thought that he would. They called the game I thought that they were conservative because it's a rookie making his first start on the road, really on the road. And it was a disjointed week of practice. It wasn't a normal practice week because of the obvious lengthy travel. And I think that it's something to build on and they'll keep getting better. I agree 100%. I couldn't understand Vilma was criticizing that they didn't keep running the ball. I'm like, bro, did you see he was wide open? It's a simple pitch and catch. And he was rolling right. Baker, if memory serves.
Baker did that really well.
Baker loved going left.
He loved it.
So I think we just need more time with Dillon to see if he's comfortable going opposite, dominant, or not.
Baker liked doing it so well that's not an easy throw for him either.
No,
but he felt comfortable doing it in part because he could swing his hips and get his shoulders square to the target.
To be clear,
I don't think Gabriel did that.
Baker does have more arm talent than Dillon.
Yeah,
I would say that.
Absolutely.
So that's
yes,
he
does.
does.
But Dillon has enough to be an NFL quarterback.
Yes.
But he totally missed the throw. It's an it's an easy pitch and catch.
It is.
And Njoku's probably got 8 yards on that, 6 to 8 yards.
Yep.
And now you're looking at 2nd and 2. It changes everything.
Game time.
It does.
So, but otherwise, he missed a couple throws. I'm not surprised. He had the one tipped. We talked about on Friday. I'm not worried so much if he gets a ball batted down. It's the tips that turn into 50-50 balls.
Yeah.
He had one of those. He's lucky it sailed out of bounds. Otherwise, it would have been a pick.
Yeah.
That's what you have to worry about with him. I was actually surprised they didn't move the pocket as much as I thought that they would. There was a lot of just stand back in the pocket and let it rip.
Right.
I didn't expect to see that. I thought it was going to be a lot more boots and rollouts than what it was. I think that will continue the longer
Were you surprised? We thought I'd said we showed his numbers against the blitz in college, and I said I hope they blitzed him, and I think Bull said, "Oh, he's going to see the blitz." They didn't blitz him at all.
They did.
I think late in the game was the only time they blitzed him. They sent 4 just about every play in my mind.
Yeah.
Mike, let me ask you this question.
Shoot.
Is the question, what scale are we using to grade him? Because if we're grading him just on a quarterback scale, I don't know how we're giving a B to a guy who did not look like an NFL starting
Well,
quarterback.
we both had him in a C.
He didn't look like an NFL. He threw
Not a starting NFL quarterback.
I mean,
I'm
I'm gauging him.
It's his first start, too.
I'm gauging him on who he is.
Is that the gauge, Mike? Is this on the first NFL start
Yeah,
quarterback?
I mean,
Is he Josh Allen? No, of course not.
It's a
Dillon
little up to
Gabriel.
interpretation,
I mean,
Bull, but you grade him how you want to grade him based on
Josh
what you
Allen's
expected.
listen, it's one game. To make a sweeping judgment about the guy is idiotic based on one game.
No, we're just grading him for that.
No, I'm
his
saying,
play.
what I'm about to say is kind of stupid.
You got him
it's
lower,
only one game.
You
but
got him lower than
this guy is. I don't know. What does it matter? He was a nothing. He's not a starting quarterback.
But that's what
in
the
NFL.
task is.
better than
The
Flacco.
task is.
Yeah.
What grade do you
He
give
came
him?
out better chance to win than Joe Flacco.
Here's the thing.
I don't know.
This is what we. It's just like when people say, "Well, Stefanski's better than all the other quarterbacks." The goal is not to be better than Joe
But
Flacco.
what do you have to pick from? You have Joe Flacco, Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, and Bailey Zappi.
Okay,
That's what you
Jason,
have to pick
all
from.
I'm saying is, I watched this guy. Did you see a starting NFL quarterback in this guy?
No, I said last week
Okay,
he's
that's all
not
I'm
going to be
saying.
the answer for the next 10 years.
So why'd you draft him in the 3rd round?
Well, that's an excellent question.
I don't
agree with
draft
that.
backups in the 3rd round.
I'll
You could have
also
taken a
say-
tackle in the
I'll
3rd round
also
that
say,
you desperately need
I
right
think
now.
it could be a little early after one start.
course
to
it's
say
early. It's
he's
freaking
not,
insane that-
Yeah, but you're saying he's not going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
I'm giving an opinion. I think it's unlikely. So,
So I think, let me answer this. I think what we'd like you to give him the grade on is as a first-time starting NFL quarterback.
So as a first-time starting quarterback, it's a nice C.
Yeah, I think that's right.
As a first-time.
Well, I thought you nailed it in your shotgun comments. He didn't win the game. He didn't lose the game.
Yeah, I know,
It's a meh. It's a C.
But it's not hard to look okay when almost every pass is 2 yards.
Right.
You know,
that's on the coach.
Any quarterback in the league can do that.
I agree with that.
Joe Flacco at 40 years old.
That's why I hope what we saw yesterday was training wheels on the front of the bike and the back of the bike. I want, because otherwise we don't learn anything about this guy.
Right.
I want the wheels off. And if he throws 3 picks when you do throw the ball downfield,
who cares?
Now we know.
Let's go. Throw the ball.
Now let's see what Shedeur can do.
Well, I mean, remember.
Yeah.
It's his first start. It was a disjointed practice week.
Yeah.
He didn't get a full
I get all
starter's
that.
reps because of the travel, and now he's going into Pittsburgh.
Do we
in
know
week
why
2.
the Browns declined the bye
I don't
after
know.
this trip?
You would think it seems
Almost
like,
all of the teams take
it seems like a reasonable time to take it. I don't know what their reasoning is not to.
Maybe they thought it was too early in the season.
No,
I-
because they
Well, Pittsburgh took it. It was a week earlier.
because they thought you still have Joe Flacco playing. You had Joe. If the goal was always to get Joe Flacco.
I don't know. When they made that decision, I don't think Joe Flacco was on the roster.
Which one?
When they made the
schedule.
decision to not take the bye after the international.
schedule
break.
came out
I
in, like,
think the
March.
schedule came out before
Yeah,
Flacco was.
so Flacco
in
wouldn't
the
have been
fold.
on the roster
I'll double
when they
check
made
the
that
exact
Was Kenny
timeline.
Pickett still on the roster?
I don't know that any quarterback was on the roster yet. I'll be fair. I don't think anybody of them were.
I don't know when they make
Well,
that
the schedule comes out when? March?
No, like May, I think.
The schedule came out May 14th.
Yeah.
Okay, when did our quarterback sign?
Yeah, they had all those guys except for maybe Flacco.
I don't think Flacco
Pickett
was on the roster.
there, and the 2 rookies were there. Flacco.
but
Flacco
They're,
was not on the
working
roster.
on the schedule long before the day it comes out.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's
So-
a good point.
True. Yeah.
But look, I think one of the
no,
things
all 4 quarterbacks were there. Flacco had already signed.
Yeah,
want
but they
Yeah, but again,
they didn't.
to Jason's point,
But we don't know. When
they didn't make that decision.
We don't
May
know when
13th.
that
Sure.
decision
When
was
is
made.
their when is their bye? Isn't it like week 9?
Yeah, it's middle of the season.
That's probably
They wanted the middle of the
they
season.
probably got to pick their bye week for going to Europe, and they said we want it right in the middle of the season. That's just a guess.
Yeah.
But that would be. I mean, that's an ideal bye without a Europe trip mixed in.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the season is a pretty good time to have. it.
Again, everybody in the world says that we knew we weren't very good. So by week 9,
Yeah, I mean, now you got to come home and now you got to go to Pittsburgh. That's a pretty brutal.
this is the scary week, right? Because I can tell you, if you go back and watch, when you go back and look with Hugh Jackson, it always starts in people's careers end in Pittsburgh. The year that we knew something was up, when Baker Mayfield was there and they said you didn't get no help to T.J. Watt, that was at Pittsburgh.
We're going to give you no help on Watt's side.
When you had Hugh Jackson arguing on the sideline with what's the offensive coordinator? What is it? Good gracious! It wasn't
Greg, no, it was the defensive coordinator, wasn't it?
No, the
The old Steelers coordinator.
It was
Todd.
Todd
Haley.
Haley.
They
Yeah.
had that whole thing on the sideline in Pittsburgh. You knew it was over. You go to that Pittsburgh. What you want to see with Dillon Gabriel the progression. So this week, you right. I always like to say, I'm going to give you grace, right? I'm going to give you grace because I want to be fair. I want you to tell me, G. Bush, you're out of pocket. You didn't give him all right, you was a rookie. You went to London. I want to see the progression from this week, right? So now I want to see what the playbook looks like. You got to open it up, Bull. If you throw in 3 interceptions.
That's what I say, too.
If you want to throw 3 picks.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's go.
But all this stuff.
Next.
But you're not going to do those smoke screens where you come out here with this same dump it in the flats playbook and be like, oh, well, yeah, no. Go ahead and get him ready. He's played all these football games, right? 60-some games. You need it. I always say on this thing, you know if you got a quarterback, if you can complete passes 10, 15 yards to 25 yards. It's the intermediate game. All that rest of that stuff is rec league stuff. Anybody in rec league can hit that. 15 to 25 is where you make your money at. I want to see it.
We don't throw those passes.
Well, for the
unfortunately.
record, Wentz and Gabriel had the almost identical ADOTs yesterday. Average depth of target. Wentz and Gabriel is identical.
Well, in
Wentz was
fairness, Jay, that's the league now.
Wentz was 6.8. Gabriel was 6.5.
Yeah, that's the league.
But he had 2 throws. The one throw to Addison for the touchdown right on money, touchdown. The Jefferson back shoulder in the middle of the field,
Terrific throw.
and another one on the sideline. Those are the things that separate
It was
you.
a great throw by Wentz, but a great catch by
When
Jefferson.
you have
catch.
Justin Jefferson, you can throw.
You can throw it up
he's
there.
down
Yeah.
there somewhere.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice to have him?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the defense because that's where we're headed next, guys. It's brought to us by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers on FanDuel can bet just $5. And if that bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. Bull, you and I, during our post-game shows yesterday, got some people mad when we said we didn't think the Browns' defense played well enough. We didn't say they played terrible.
Yeah.
But we didn't think they played well enough against the Carson Wentz-led offense that had 3 drives of at least 70 yards, resulting in a touchdown on the day. I'm just curious, and I'm going to ask it in a way that you can take it however you want. I'm not saying the defense is to blame for the loss, but do they get any bit of blame for allowing a Carson Wentz game-winning touchdown in that final 3-minute stretch?
100%.
Sure, they get blamed.
Yes, your second best player blew the coverage on that touchdown.
Yeah.
Your best corner, one of the best players in the modern history of this franchise on defense, and he blew that play. It was a great throw by Wentz. I give Wentz credit. He made a perfectly, throw right over his head. But where are you on that play, Denzel? There's nobody else there. I don't know what happened to him. But yes, the offense was playing not to lose kind of at the end of the game.
See, I disagree with that, but go ahead.
Because they threw the ball. And
If
that.
they're
Yeah,
through it on
okay,
third and
that's
11.
fair. That's fair.
If you're
You're
playing
right.
not to lose, you run it.
You're right. It was more they were just not succeeding.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. You're right. But this defense is great, right? Well, the offense didn't do a ton, but with a rookie quarterback in his first NFL start, a makeshift offensive line and issues at wide receiver, they did kind of enough that with this defense, 17 should have been good enough to win with this defense. It's unfair, but it should have been good enough. And they couldn't make it hold up.
Well, I would say if this was a Minnesota team at full strength, I would say that you're going to have to score more than 21 points. But they're missing 60% of their starting offensive line.
Right.
Their running back is out.
Yep.
Their quarterback is old and hurt.
And by the way,
so it should have been enough.
By the way, they tore you up in that first quarter too, prior to the fumble.
Yes,
it
they
was
did.
chunk
Yeah,
play
that's true.
after
That was
chunk
yes,
play.
they did.
They got bailed. Not bailed out. Great play by Alex Wright to knock the ball.
Alex
out.
Wright played a good game.
But if I told any fan, any of you up here, hey, the Browns are going to have the lead with 3 minutes to go. All they have to do is get one stop on Minnesota to win the game.
Get it done.
You'll take
Done.
it every time.
Yeah, so
and they didn't get it done.
I don't know if I was to split the pie. Stefanski gets a large chunk. The offense gets a large chunk. The defense gets a large chunk. If you want to go 33, 33, 33, that's fine with me. But I don't know how anybody, and sometimes that's just fans of teams get blinded by, how dare you say something bad about Myles Garrett?
Yeah, right.
Well, look, we're family, and family can do that. And I love this team, but when they suck, you got to say they suck. And the defense didn't suck yesterday.
No.
They were just okay.
They were very good until you had to have them.
Yeah.
And that's when and when are games won in the NFL?
It's the same thing with the running game. Quinshon had a great
I
game.
know. It went away.
He was great until you had to have him. And then stop for a loss on first down, stop for no gain on
Do you
second
think that was
down.
partly because they knew what we were going to do?
line
And that's half of the battle in the
line
NFL.
got blown up on both those plays.
Destroyed. No push whatsoever.
Teams all the time at end of games know you're going to run the ball, and they still are able to convert.
So let me give you this.
I love mixing it up.
Let
Play
me
fake
give-
and throw on first
let
down.
me
You're
give
going to
you
throw
this.
once anyhow. Third down.
It goes back. Let's get back to the specifics and how we talk about this, right? So the game plan this week, right? Vikings coaching staff, masterful. They pulled out what we've seen for a very long time with Jim Shore's defense. When you're dealing with an aggressive defense that is out there running upfield like rabid dogs, what do? You make sure that they got to cover multiple things. What did they do? They gave you screens. They gave you jet sweeps. They gave you all kind of different things where now the defensive lineman is out getting out leveraged. They hit him with gashes. They hit him with trick plays early in the game. They took a halfback. See, this is what happens. You know you ain't got the horses, but what do you got to do? The coach has to say, I got to get one. I need to be responsible because you didn't expect it. I'm going to give you that. They got the one touchdown from the halfback pass, caught him slipping, right? That was enough. He said, I gave you 7. Now I'm going to need Justin Jefferson and somebody to make me a play. I got a baller out there. Give me a touchdown. So what they did is they made sure the Cleveland Browns in the first 3 quarters, we going to run y'all sideline to sideline. We're going to run you. You may stop us in the backfield a few times because y'all good. But what we're going to do is we're going to make you judge and we're going to make you respect what we're doing all over the field. And that stops you for just a couple of seconds. We talk about Myles Garrett in half a second. If you can get a half a second more time in the fourth quarter, because now they're gassed. Look at them. Take the picture.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns had 4 drives. Mason Graham is on the knee. Myles Garrett is on the knee. They go 3 and out. Boom. They right back on the field. Now, we done ran you all day. You got to respect certain things. And now, guess what? Now it's the last drive, and you need to pull something up. And guess what? We got Justin Jefferson. We got Addison. We need to make a play. Now, granted, I'm not going to absolve them in anything, but when we talk about complementary football, we got to look at the game plan coming into it and say who executed the game plan better. Minnesota had a better attack. They said, we can't guard these dudes one-on-one up front. So in the first 3 quarters, we got to establish something. If we can slow Myles Garrett down a few steps, get a little playing time, get a little more time to run our stuff and give ourselves a chance to win and make a play, that's what happened. So, needless to say, this has always been on film about Jim Short's defenses. The jet sweeps always kill them. The motions, the draws, all that other stuff, you got to get them to think other places, right? And at the very inopportune time, when you are tired, what happens? They say fatigue makes cowards out of everybody. Fatigue will have you looking crazy, and your best player running down the field got tired and had a blown assignment at the most inopportune time, touchdown.
They'd only been on the field 26 minutes. They did have the 3 and out, but the Vikings used 2 timeouts. I don't think you can use tired as an excuse. They were only on the field 26 minutes prior to that last game-winning drive. That's not a ton.
But they were. They were tired, some of the players.
They shouldn't have been.
They shouldn't be.
26 minutes is not a lot to be out there.
But what you also got to remember this. Leverage plays is different from regular plays. When you got highly leveraged plays where it's like, oh, this counts, yeah, you're going to get tired. That's the part of it. Now, here's the thing. Can you get tired and make a missed assignment? No. I'm not giving Denzel Ward no credit for that. You got to get it done. But when you are asking your defense every single week, it's a mental aspect to it. That you McNuggets, I gotta make a play. We only getting 17 points. We only getting 13. That means in your mind you lining up every single play saying this is life or death. This is life or death here.
Well, the dam breaks against Detroit and Baltimore when you keep turning the ball over and you're giving them short.
No, I mean in the macro, like in the season.
But I'm saying like that's how the dam breaks. When you're turning the ball over, when they have short fields, Detroit needed 41 yards to get 24 points. That's when the dam breaks. This is not an excuse for that. They had the ball at the 20-yard line. They didn't even need to use their timeout. They went up 50 yards in a minute and a half, and they scored without even – everyone makes a big deal about the Browns only took 11 seconds off the clock. Bro, the Vikings went down the field and never even used that timeout and scored on you.
And those 11 seconds, they used 2 timeouts, so it's not a real 11 seconds.
Right. That's true.
That's what I'm saying. They used 2 timeouts in the middle of that. So, yeah, it was a 3 and out, but they still had 2 timeout stoppages as well.
At what point as a defender you say this? I'm doing my job.
Of course.
You can't give us 20?
That's fair.
Because what starts to happen is, as a defender, you start to say, you know what, you telling us we all got to pull our part, right? We all got to do our part. And it's so difficult in a league that we talk about up here every day that the league begs you to get 20. They give you every opportunity on offense for the advantage. They're begging you to get more points, right? We go over it all the time. At some point in time, you got to say, listen, we can't win this way. We can't win trying to play 85 Bears a game. We just can't do that. We got to score the points and hope our defense can be above average and get these guys off the field. But in the AFC, if you think that you're going to win and you ain't getting over 20 points, you're dead.
The offense, I've said this before, the offense was dreadful last year. It was horrible last year. What did the Browns do? They spent their top 2 draft picks on defensive players, and their big free agent signing was a 40-year-old quarterback.
That's crazy.
What did you think was going to change?
That was really good in the AFC right now, by the way. There's not that many.
Yeah, well, look at our
division.
division.
Everybody stinks.
The Ravens shocked me.
My God, they shocked me too. Now, granted, It goes to show you why they paid Lamar what they paid him.
Yeah.
Because they're great quarterbacks.
Cow.
Look at how all you
they
need
are
to know.
Terrible without him.
All you need to know about the quarterbacks is look at what the Bengals and Ravens have looked like without Burrow and Lamar.
And
they look like garbage teams.
And that's the Browns
Yeah,
every
but-
week.
but
that's
that's
the Browns
it.
every week.
But also, like, they don't play. Those guys don't play defense. Like,
right, but
Lamar Jackson's not out there when the Ravens are giving up 44.
I know that, Jay, but like G's saying, well, the defense can't do it all, so eventually the offense can't do it all.
Well, I didn't see the Bengals game. Were those last couple
I didn't watch
touchdowns?
a minute of it.
Oh, okay.
It was garbage.
It
touchdown.
felt like it was garbage because
yeah,
I was watching it on my phone. The
Detroit
score,
took their foot off the
and I'm
gas.
like,
It was
Detroit must have
garbage touchdowns.
everybody out of the game because they scored 2 touchdowns
sorry,
late.
I forgot. The Browns did sign Tevin Jenkins, who never plays. That was their big free agent signing.
Yeah,
on
you're
offense.
right.
One last
Tevin
thing.
Jenkins and Joe Flacco were the big
Yeah.
offensive additions.
Go ahead, Mike.
One last thing
Hit
on the
and
defense,
hit.
then we can move on. But we have
I
had
just-
discussions throughout the first month about how the Browns' defense has been incredible, right? Like we've talked about this being an elite unit. We talked heading into the game, 3 backup offensive linemen from Minnesota. Stefanski decided he trusted his defense against the Carson Wentz offense with 3 minutes to go, and it did not work. And at the end of the day, we're talking about this defense as an elite caliber defense. I would expect them to get a stop
It's very
against
good.
a
There's
Carson
no elite
Wentz-led offense.
defense in the league.
It's a very good defense that's going to keep them in games
That's
and
right.
give them a chance to win games
which they
at the
have.
end.
Yeah.
All right,
Mike.
guys, let's get to our rookie report today. We'll start with Quinshon Judkins on this after we remind you that Mazda moves the game forward just like Quinshon Judkins keeps the chains moving on Sundays. Extra moments do more than win. They push what's possible, reminding us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda. Mazda, move and be moved.
Quinshon Judkins gets an A. He was outstanding. I know he didn't get the first out at the end. I hardly blame him. The offensive line
collaborative,
was
yeah.
terrible in that play, but he makes the offensive line look better for most of the game. He was fantastic. He had who knows? I mean, he could have had 200 yards
had
if it
the
wasn't for
long-
the penalty.
He had
Touchdown.
70 yards called back by penalty.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
I mean, granted, that touchdown probably doesn't occur without.
Yeah, there were two holdings on that play.
Probably
But
contributed.
and you know what? I couldn't go back and look. I was playing in a baseball tournament, and I'm trying to watch on my phone. Did anybody go back and look? Is that what sprung him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen,
I
he's-
figured it was. There were
Bond
2
on
of them.
the outside.
He's explosive as hell.
Second-degree misdemeanor.
Yeah.
He's explosive as hell and hard to tackle.
It was like Mark Sanchez and a truck
He gets
driver
it.
out there on the side.
Oh God! What the hell is that, by the way?
I don't understand.
Oh, my.
We gotta get-
Anybody not giving Quinshon an A?
No,
Yeah, he's an
A plus.
Yeah.
A plus.
He's terrific.
Yeah, you got one. That's what a
So-
stud looks like.
So can we please put to rest the Nick Chubb? Can we put it to rest?
I think it has been, don't you?
No, I saw crap yesterday on Twitter. Oh, this hurts watching Chubb score. I'm glad that Chubb scored the touchdown. I hope he has great success in Houston.
Yeah.
Can we please stop with the Nick Chubb?
I don't think.
And now if he has a 1,200-yard season, but I don't think that's happening.
Well, who cares
I
if
just don't
Quinshon
think that's
has a
happening.
1,200-yard
Yeah,
season?
Quinshon. But
Quinshon's
the
on
thing of it
pace,
is,
by the way, for 1,400 yards.
let me ask you guys: isn't there a world where they could have both?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like
it doesn't,
I don't understand.
You made it worse by
a lot of
Yeah.
Yeah, because
look, actually, you're right.
no. Here's the thing.
They could have brought him back and still gave him a
What
carry.
is he making, and what are our other backs making? Like, is he better than Jerome Ford?
Yes.
They made the right call in moving.
Yes.
They made the
And
right
then
call.
you made the wrong call.
Listen, they made the right call in drafting Quinshon Judkins,
I'm
but
sorry for what
it
I've
doesn't
done.
mean that we can't draft a wide receiver because Chubb's still here.
Yeah, you're right.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's
you
fine.
draft an insurance policy, and you
Actually-
could have had both.
Actually, you could have drafted. You could have used that Dylan
Well, this is
Sampson
the
pick on the
trifecta
receiver.
show. We've hit deep and tested Baker and now Nick Chubb. So
Yeah, there's
the
got to
great-
be another one we can get off.
You know what? I'm glad they didn't sign. As much as I love Nick Chubb and thought it was a mistake at the time, it was the absolute right move because if they had Nick Chubb, they wouldn't be running Judkins as much. And Judkins is getting a ton of carries. He had like 27 carries yesterday, if you include the plays that got called back by penalty. He wouldn't have as many carries if Chubb were here, and he's at this point in their careers, he's way better than Chubb. So there you go.
it was the
All
right
right, so
call.
outside of Judkins, because we all agree he was
Yeah.
awesome, we'll do the offensive guys. We already did Gabriel, but
Yeah.
Isaiah Bond, any big take? He had 40% snaps yesterday, 40 snaps. He became the official receiver, too, in terms of the snap percentage he played. Not a ton of stats, but would you guys think
He
of-
gets an F for the pointing the first after catching that ball. I'm giving him an F. I have no time for that. I have no time for that nonsense. Be a professional.
Not gonna give
How
him an F.
about 2 weeks in a row? 2 weeks in a row, we've had a player drop the ball going into the end zone in the NFL.
I know.
Yesterday was the Cardinals.
Wait,
They
did you
blew
guys
that
see
game.
the Cardinals and the way they lost?
Oh my God!
That makes our Jets game from a couple of years ago seem like it was not a big deal.
They should. I said this with Ed Reed millions of years ago, and I was an idiot for it. If I was Cardinals, I'd cut Amari DiMercato today. I'd cut him. He ain't that good. Anyway, how do you
a great
drop
run,
the
but
ball?
It's so.
Why would you drop the ball?
It's
what are you?
so-
So
Especially
cool?
when it happened last week. Like, don't you
What
have a
an idiot.
television?
It is inexcusable.
It was awful. Just awful.
Keep it moving.
Hey,
Keep it moving.
I'm
He's no more
not
than
going to give
Browns.
Bond an F.
yeah.
I think he runs decent routes. I think he might be the guy that gets more separation than anybody. And I think he's got a nice future here. I really do. I like him. I'll give him a C minus.
Hey, man, he's really good at running these flat routes, man. The flats is crazy out
Well,
there.
that's all they give him.
Yeah,
You only run what they call.
Listen, he ran a nice dig one time. We don't even got post in the playbook. We don't got
No,
post.
we took that page out.
Post corners,
No
is out
nines,
here.
no goes,
none of that.
all that's
but
out.
his curl game is on a 100. It's remind me of the '80s, man. He had that S curl. If you know, you know.
Fanning, he did score a touchdown yesterday. That was a rookie-to-rookie touchdown for Gabriel's first of the game.
C.
Yeah, C
Outside
for
of
me
that,
too.
he didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, I know. He was. I want my best players to be present late. I didn't see him late.
He runs a good drag route. You know what I'm saying? That little sit down in the middle of the zone, like 5 yards. That's where they be balling at. That's what it is.
You know, Jay said earlier it's hard to judge the talent. It's hard to judge Dillon Gabriel because of the talents. To me, it's the opposite. It's hard to judge the talent on the team because they have terrible quarterbacks.
I just can't express enough that I would rather do my taxes early than watch this playbook.
By the way,
Yeah, it's
awful.
awful.
It seems like somebody tweeted this. They said it seems like a chore watching the Browns instead of like entertainment. It really is.
Not one kid on my baseball team watched the Browns game yesterday.
For what? Why would they?
These are kids who like sports.
I mean,
They
if
play
you,
fantasy football. They have a fantasy football league.
they're in the
Yeah.
scoring, obviously.
Jason's brought this point up a number of
Yeah.
times on the show, and it's never been more true than now because I think we're into the second generation.
Yeah.
They're losing a generation of fans.
I think we've lost one
Yeah.
from the 99s to now. These kids today, nope. And they love football, and they pick other teams.
Yeah.
And because somebody said, man, could we have Justin Jefferson? I said, bro, if we had Justin Jefferson, he wouldn't be Justin Jefferson.
Nah,
No, he'd be
I don't-
Dustin Jefferson.
You know why? Because you're right, Dustin Jefferson. He
just
would
be some
because
dude.
what would happen is he would get here, right, and it's Justin Jefferson, and he would run them same little routes, and then say, "What the heck is this?" And then the first thing he would say is, "Hey, bro, y'all gotta get me the ball." And you know what we gonna say? Sit down and shut up. That's exactly what we do. And then we'll point out that he got a different color cleats on.
You're right.
His cleats are pink.
He's wearing a watch.
He has a watch on. He got pink on. He should sit down and run these sit
Yeah,
down
you can't
routes.
compare Odell to.
Hey,
to
bro,
Justin
all
Jefferson.
I'm saying is we like to talk about things that don't have nothing to do with football. Do we talk about cleats and what they wearing and all that good stuff? You think that receivers want? I'm not coming here to play as a receiver. Why? If you're a free agent receiver, would you sign up? I don't want no
I
parts
mean,
of
in
this.
fairness, Jerry Jeudy had his best year here.
He don't even want to be here no more. I don't want to put that out
He's lucky
there.
anybody's paying him.
Hey, I don't want to put that out there because that's unfair to Jerry Jeudy because people say it all the time.
I mean,
that was tongue in cheek. What I mean though is he's don't look like he having a good time out there running these like it just
Well,
don't
he'd
look.
be having a better time if he could catch a football.
That's true.
Yeah, he better catch them one or
And
two.
more might come his way if he caught the football. Like at some point, this quarterback is going to lose confidence.
He actually has to catch
Can't throw
the
it to
ball
him,
too.
he's gonna drop it.
That's another thing.
He's got to catch the ball.
It was a
And
third down. It was
3rd and 13. He's got to catch
and
the ball.
the ball hit him and he.
How many third down drops has he had now?
Don't they all seem big though?
Yes, they're all like
they all
crucial
are in
moments.
leverage situations.
I mean, I was destroying him early. I said, bro, this the Flacco, the first game of the year. It's 4th down. It hit you right in the numbers. It's a slant, bro.
All right, how about the defensive players?
Yep.
What do we give them
Bull,
grades
you
for?
said it's tough to judge some of the offensive guys because of the quarterbacks. The defensive players don't have that hindrance. Schlesinger had 12 tackles yesterday against Minnesota.
And
which
a
made
knockout
Carson.
temporarily.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought he was an A. I didn't. Mason Graham, I honestly wasn't really paying attention to, so I don't.
I didn't watch Mason yesterday.
Yeah.
I try and watch.
Well,
I don't know why.
but that kind of doesn't that kind of lead you one way?
Not necessarily
No.
because of the position that he plays.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough to be noticed, but
Yeah.
he had been noticed.
I try and watch him when I'm at the. Obviously, I wasn't at the game yesterday. I try and watch him when I'm at the games.
Yeah.
Just to see the impact. So I don't know. I didn't really see much of him yesterday.
Here's the game plan on Mason Graham. You're gonna have to understand this. They are going to double team you to the next level like it's your job. They are they trying.
Well, he started getting them 2
I
weeks
saw
ago.
that. I texted that to you guys in Detroit. I couldn't believe how much Mason was getting double teamed.
They're going.
I've never seen a tackle playing next to Miles get double teamed as much as I saw Mason
on the
last
run
week
game.
in
They gonna
Detroit.
find out what you talking about. They like, okay, well, we get the third down. He quick as heck. He can get upfield. But on this run game, we inside zone. He's an undersized defensive tackle. He's not that big, and he lost a lot of weight to get to that point because they want him to be quick. But they gonna run the ball at him. And
But they didn't run it well. I mean, their two backs averaged less than 4 yards per carry. So,
Yeah, it is tough to grade him, I guess. He's defensive tackle. You know, we tend to measure these defensive linemen in sacks or, you know, a lot of run stops. He didn't have
But
one
to throw this
yesterday,
out there, just as the run isn't necessarily all about how many yards you can get. It's all about if I could double team and I could wear Mason Graham out, and then when it gets to the fourth quarter, he can't rush like that. That's what I want to do.
That's a win, yeah,
That's
that's a
the
win.
win I'm trying to
But I think we all agree Schlesinger,
Schlesinger was everywhere. He was all over the field, yeah.
all right, Mike.
this guy's incredible.
All right. Any other thoughts? We didn't miss any of them.
Nope.
Schmidt was 101. It is what it is.
Whatever.
All right, guys, we have a record number of Super Chats. Like, legit a record. Text your phone. I texted you the number. Before we do Super Chats, they're brought to us today by Square, your favorite neighborhood spot. Run on Square. There are certain businesses that truly make the neighborhood feel like home, whether it's the local sports bar, the coffee shop, or the corner deli that's been serving up your community for decades. There are places that bring people together. When the neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/LockedOnNFL to learn more. But before you go, support your favorite neighborhood spots. You'll be happy you did. Square, we'll see you in a neighborhood. All right, guys, Bull, we'll get to your baseball story in a second, but we have upwards of 90 Super Chats now. So we're going to read them, and let's start with this one. This is for Bull.
Yeah.
Bill Rodewald says, who gives you more hope, the Browns rookies or the Guardians young players?
The Guardians. As an organization, the Guardians are a better organization. I like the rookies. I might even like the rookies. I don't know. I'm going to say the Guardians. Sorry, too long.
This next one's also for Bull. From Bill. Using Spotrac projections, the Guards could sign Luis Ariz for $14 million and either Kyle Tucker for $17 or Kyle Schwarber for $20. What do you think of that?
There's no way Tucker.
Mike,
Schwarber
listen to what you just said there.
I'm reading the Super Chat.
All right, Bill, those numbers are absurd. They're not even close
to accurate.
17 million for Kyle Tucker.
No chance.
Kyle Schwarber's going to get like 40 million a year. What do you think?
MLB Trade Rumors does a better job with contract.
Yeah,
projections.
don't look at Sports Track is useless. Don't look at that.
For that stuff, it is.
Yeah.
Go
All
ahead.
right, Dragon the Abandoner says the Patriots have Drake May and Stephon Diggs. Jay, that's ridiculous. Miss Bell says losing
Stephon
6
Diggs
years.
is not that good at this point, but go ahead.
All right.
Miss Bell 70 says losing 6
not.
years, same coach is expected, not serious. Brad Schrack says it felt like Stefanski treated DG like Day treated Julian Sayin versus Texas. Nothing will change if Stefanski doesn't open up the playbook or burn the current one. Neil Gray says, what if the Browns would have drafted Shador in the first round and gave him all of Pickett's and Joe's reps in camp? The entire country in Cleveland would be electric. It'd be exciting, win or lose. Paul A. says, can one of you please tell us what Paul DePodesta does? One would think that with an added person with his talent, the team would be better. Andrew Berry did have a good draft, but DePodesta, no one knows what he does.
We have no
Jake
idea.
Ryan says, our franchise quarterback is an MVP candidate down in Tampa right now. I have no faith in the guy who let him go to rebuild this team. Writing Man 33 says, hey, do you guys think Kevin should give up play calling and just be head coach? G, should he give up play calling?
I told you he should have gave that up weeks ago, but he ain't gonna do it. Like Hugh Jackson said, I'm calling the plays.
Brody's bottom line says, I swear some of you guys will blame anybody but Kevin. And yes, I'm talking about you, Jason.
I've blamed Kevin plenty.
Aggie Fury 101
said I
says the
wouldn't
data
find
is
By the way,
there.
said some of you guys, the rest of us were
Yeah, I know.
completely blaming
Whatever.
Stefanski.
Aggie Fury 101 says the data is there. Stefanski brings no life to this team. All quarterbacks and receivers drag here. I keep saying this Browns team needs a gritty, hard-nosed GM and coach. Kevin Robinson says Jimmy and Andrew have gotten better. Stefanski has regressed.
Jimmy has Jimmy has gotten better.
Jimmy's
at what?
gotten better.
Jimmy's gotten better. At
Where's the
spending
facts
money.
to back that up?
He spends money. That's what he does really well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He sets money on fire.
Yeah, he does.
Chris Bozzi says this is the same coach that rolled Baker out there with one arm for an entire season, then
Ownership
moved on
did
from
that.
him. Baker seems to be doing great. I don't think merely having competent quarterback play is the fix. And no, I'm not that Chris Boswell. Vanilla Gorilla says, Jason, just admit you're wrong about coaching. It's okay. Blink twice if you're being paid off. D4L
So
Josh
stupid.
says, Jason with Kevin sounds like Jay with Baker. Christopher Waite says
Well, wait
Jason
a
was
minute. I mean, then he might end up being right.
Of course I'm going to end up being right.
And I agree with that. I've said he's a good seed in bad soil. I think he will go elsewhere and have much more success
I mean, you
than
don't
he
have to
ever
listen
had
to me.
here.
There's a lot of people
But
tiding
you're-
around the nation of the NFL who say if they fired him, he'd have a job tomorrow.
Yeah.
Orlovsky said it yesterday.
Absolutely, he'd have a job.
So-
Orlovsky's puts mayonnaise on the ham sandwich. I don't know what
Dan's
he's doing.
really
Well,
good at
that's
what he
actually
does.
normal.
Dan's
But
tremendous.
I was trying to think of something else that he did.
Yeah, what does that mean?
There was
He
some
says-
food thing that he said that was like so gross, but I
All
can't
right, we have
remember what it was.
117.
his
But
food
Jay's
takes-
only half right about Baker because Baker was never going to be good here, but he's really good.
Baker was good here. I'm 100%.
He wasn't good here. He wasn't gonna be
And
good
anybody
here.
that
All right.
can't admit that is just
No, he
not-
wasn't good here. He's good there.
He was good here. He led us to the playoffs.
Not this good. Look at the playoffs. That's not
All
an
right,
accomplishment.
all right.
You
We're
said the
never gonna
Bengals
get out
accomplished
of
Winning
nothing.
3 games a year
You
now.
said the Bengals
God,
accomplished
here
nothing
we
by going to the
go.
Super Bowl. Now you're telling me getting to the playoffs is an accomplishment?
You like 3 wins or playoffs?
I have to pee. Let's go.
Go ahead.
It's not going to get here any quicker. I'm sorry.
Christopher Waite.
Although it's Super Chats, go.
Go ahead, Mike. Keep reading.
Christopher Waite says
Seriously.
Jason was all too eager to fire Baker into the sun, but still defends these clowns.
Baker did quit on the team. The team was pissed at him, and he wouldn't talk to Kevin Stefanski on the phone. Baker played a big role into him being
He
pushed
was
out.
ignoring ownership.
Played a big role into him.
Listen, Baker's better off. Baker won.
Yes, he won.
Baker won.
He won.
He
It
got the
doesn't
hell
matter.
out of here.
It wasn't going to happen here. It happened there. He had to go through it. Anything else is revisionist history. Go ahead.
Our Mac Dog says Stefanski hasn't had sustained performance with any quarterback, and his teams have not consistently been competent in all 3 phases. Do you think that turning the team over to Jim Schwartz would be a good move?
No. Anybody else?
No.
Evan419 says all of this chaos and the defense had the lead with Carson Wentz at his own 20-yard line.
That's right.
Yes.
That's absolutely right.
Miss Bell says, how do you get a quarterback if you don't trust the rookies? So they're going to draft a quarterback in 2026 with the same coach and trust him to play? That's insanity.
That's a good fact.
Dragging the Abandoner. So if they lost 27-24, ... all would be great, question mark.
Nope.
I don't know what that means. Is that
I think he's saying because
Is it
they can't
20-point
score,
mark?
like,
Yeah.
What
20-point thing.
we're saying on the 20-point mark is the fact that, like, in a league that is very difficult to win, you have to at least give yourself a decent chance to
Yeah.
win by scoring a certain amount of
Clearly,
points.
they
That's
should
it.
be scoring 20 points.
That's
Obviously.
it.
Go ahead.
James Mace Jr., maybe your coach is in 2026. I felt that line, G.
Well, it was a bar, too, man. It was crazy.
M. Bine says the sad part is this rookie draft will probably buy Andrew Berry another season. Jimmy Haslam said at the start of the year our future quarterback is not in this roster, which feels like giving a pass to Stefanski.
And then
Haslam
Andrew
is the
Berry should be
problem.
fired for drafting a non-starter in the 3rd round.
Because he could have had a receiver or offensive lineman.
He's starting right now.
But if
He's
the owner,
starting.
but the owner's saying he's not the starter long term. Go ahead.
Aggie Fury says we owe Watson an apology. Quarterbacks just can't thrive.
We owe
here.
Watson nothing. He stole money for this team. He's a terrible quarterback and a terrible person, in my opinion. Anybody else can say whatever they want. That's just my opinion.
Charles
What the
T
hell do we owe him an
says.
apology for?
Charles T says G. Bush is right. Whatever he said, I'm not sure, but he's right.
He's right.
I
I
say a
agree.
whole lot of stuff. I could be wrong.
Could be wrong.
Miss
Could be right.
Bell
Maybe
says
right.
when truth outweighs loyalty, you win. Amen, G. Bush.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
It means that I could like you, but if you're not doing the job, I got to give me somebody else.
There we go.
Dragon the Abandoner says it was Dillon Gabriel's first game, and that's your guy's final straw. What a joke. Jason is the only one with a reasonable take today.
See, they
What-
got somebody defending you.
What was the
don't
final
even defend
straw? I never said.
I
it was-
said I was the only one who said final
Bull
straw, but go
kill.
ahead.
Oh, okay.
He gave him C's. That's
Yeah.
what he deserved.
No. He's talking about Stefanski.
Fire Kevin.
Me saying it was
Fire
the final straw with Stefanski.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
okay.
But I was the only one that used
See,
the term
sometimes
final straw.
see the thing with super chats, they
Well,
don't
you
be in
didn't
real
advocate
time.
firing him like right now.
No.
I mean,
But that's the beginning of the end for me with him. Go ahead.
James Mace, could John Gruden change the culture in Cleveland?
No.
Oh, Jesus,
No,
God.
See, this is why everybody
We
don't want to
good.
talk coaches changes, because then you devolve into who's the next coach, and you don't want
Maybe
to.
Bill Cowher still has his house in Strongsville.
Still up there. It's still up there, Jason.
Remember that?
Oh, he's still.
We saw Bill. He's looking at houses.
Kirk Ferentz, is he ready to come coach in the NFL now?
I heard he was putting that 95 Browns tree.
Nick Saban, he's just doing game
Hey,
day.
I'm just
I mean,
saying.
he's available.
Belichick, he wants to come back. Go get him.
Belichick's done with college.
College game, the NIL
College is
game
done
ain't
with
for him.
Belichick.
Brody's bottom line says Ohio
the
State
Belichick
runs a
girlfriend
real
drama would play
pro-style
well here.
offense.
We
That's
love
why
that
they
kind
have
of
a
stuff.
winning culture.
What?
No, they have a winning culture because they're a big university that spends a ton.
And they got
as
all the
bad
players.
as the Browns are, it's not fair to compare Ohio State to the Browns. It's much easier for Ohio State to win than the Browns. Now, they get no benefit of the doubt because they've been so
It
bad.
hurts.
But it's much easier for a great program in college football to have success
When you
than a
are
great team in
when you are the
NFL.
national champions and
Yeah.
you got studs at every position,
And you've won multiple.
and
And you spend more than every other team now. It's
But
fine, but you know.
But if you Cleveland, they're gonna be on your neck because they're gonna continue to say, "Hey man, we don't got a receiver that can start for Ohio State." That bar hits different.
These Ohio State receivers are out there just
Cardinal
absolutely
Tate
killing
was a
it, man.
monster on
In the
Sunday.
league.
We ain't got none of that.
Speaking of Ohio State, Tyvis and Dustin are doing an Ultimate Buckeye show.
They so
on
good.
Wednesday.
They just sparked back. Oh, ultimate Buckeye.
Added a show for them.
when is the next time the
Come on in.
When is the next time the Buckeyes play a real opponent?
Let me look up.
Although I don't know
Is
if
Penn State a real opponent?
Yes,
Penn State lost to UCLA.
No.
By the way,
They hadn't led in a game all year, UCLA.
we got to stop talking. We got to stop talking about the Big Ten as if the Big Ten's any good. It's only Ohio State, like some years, one or two other
Well,
teams.
what conference do you want to use?
No, it's not. Michigan was
Oregon's
national
good.
championship 2 years ago.
Oregon's good.
very good.
Oregon's good.
I mean,
There's only two conferences that are
Right,
worth
but-
anything. The Big
right,
Ten and
that's
the
it.
SEC.
That's it.
But the Big Ten
Everybody
only
else is
has
awful.
saying they beat a big. I'm wasting time. Go ahead, Mike.
No, you're good. We got.
Most of the big. My point is, 3/4 of the Big Ten is not any
but
good.
there's only a handful of teams in the Big Ten, the only handful of teams in
I
the
know.
SEC.
Mississippi
There's nothing
State,
else.
Ohio
Kentucky
State
is
only
garbage.
plays 3 or 4 games that matter. They've won a lot of them lately, so they're doing great. But when they beat the rest of the teams, it's completely worthless.
Michigan was the
ahead.
last national champion. So, I mean,
Yeah.
It's hard to argue, bull.
Go ahead. Next.
This is the rest of Ohio State's schedule, Bull.
Yeah,
They're at number 17 Illinois this weekend.
they're meaningless. They'll win by 4.
Illinois, don't sleep on
Illinois-
them.
Illinois State.
They got a good
They're
club.
having a
Much
good year.
You guys know better.
Have you
guys
watched
know
them?
better.
Much
No,
improved.
I will not.
Okay.
Ohio
that
State
was-
will win. but-
Ohio State's going to win by 40. You know that.
Go
At
ahead.
Wisconsin after that, Bull.
Wisconsin
they'll win
stinks,
that.
right?
They'll win that. Go
They're
ahead.
home. Yeah,
Wisconsin's
Wisconsin's
bad.
terrible.
How
Bad.
many white guys? Go ahead.
Home versus Penn State, who just lost to UCLA.
How do you lose to UCLA? And I don't even count Oregon as a Big Ten school. What a disgrace, Oregon in the Big
You
Ten.
don't. Well, they're in the Big Ten.
Well, they are. We didn't
So I
set
don't
it
know how
up,
you
but
don't
it is
count
what it
nonsense.
is. It is what it
They
is.
don't play
The
Oregon,
Big
then they
Ten,
go.
they got 37 teams.
Go ahead.
Bull, this is the rest of their schedule. At Illinois, at Wisconsin, home Penn State, at Purdue, home versus UCLA, home versus Rutgers, and at Michigan.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Oh, they're
I'll
running
watch
that
the
table.
Penn State game. That's it.
Number
no,
one overall
who am I
seed,
kidding?
running the table.
I'm not. We're not going to talk
Yeah.
about it. So why would I watch it? I'm not watching
imagine?
any of those games.
Yeah.
I keep it real. I keep it real. I'll see you in the playoffs.
All right, next super chat.
The regular season is meaningless for Ohio State for the rest of the time because they're going to be in the playoffs every year.
Victory,
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Tell that to Penn
Victory
State.
Asher says Dillon
They
Gabriel
were
does
number
not
2 3
scan the
weeks ago.
field. The first direction he looks is where he's throwing. Out of 33 passes, he threw towards the direction he was looking 33 times. Steelers will eat that up.
I can't say that because Shedeur Sanders passed the ball, and I was like, so who cares if we're patting it up? You know what I'm saying? I can't say
Yeah.
that.
Next.
Charles T says, what grades do you give Cleveland organization, coaches, and media? 1, our quarterback is in 26. Manning and the rest don't look better than 25. 2, Kenny Pickett / Joe Flacco are the best. 3, once Kevin gets control of the Browns offense, they'll look good.
Man, we took an
No idea
L
what he
on.
said.
We
I
took
don't
an
know
L
what
on
you're
all
talking
those. I think we took an L
No,
on
the
that.
quarterback is coming next year. Pickett would have been better. Not saying
I
he's a
don't
world
know.
beater, but
I
Pickett
don't
would have
know.
been better than Flacco.
Well,
Come
it could
on.
be worse. I think he stinks, but I don't think he would have been any good either. But whatever. I guess he would have been better than Flacco. I guess it's hard to argue that. Flacco's the worst. No offense to him.
The immobility
Yeah, it was so bad.
compared to even Gabriel was
Even
nightmare.
Carson Wentz, who says no mobility,
Carson
looked
can
more
move a
mobile.
little bit, yeah.
I mean, Miles
He
Garrett
can at least
tracked him down
protect
from
himself.
behind.
He can at least
you
move
know,
around and protect
a
himself.
little bit, yeah.
Dragon the Abandoner says, I hope Jimmy ignores the noise and keeps Stefanski. If he gets fired and wins with a team that has an actual quarterback, my future super chats will never let it go.
Dragon the Abandoner.
They say Dragon and Abandoner. His super chat game is they got him in the credits
We need
now.
to get Dragon on the open credits.
Yeah, let's listen.
He needs to have like
The Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, starring Bull, G. Bush, Dragon the Abandoner.
He got his card that come up. His Dungeons and Dragons card come at the bottom.
He does have a fire
Yeah,
name,
he
though.
definitely got a fire name. He's definitely a sorcerer. Definitely like the one
He
of the
also sent one more super chat.
Here he
I'm
goes.
not surprised.
If
I think
Kevin's
that's 5.
culture is as bad as you guys say, how do you explain 2023?
Anomalies happen, right?
Doesn't fit the narrative.
Anomalies happen, right? Hey, you had a great defense.
I don't think you can flip-flop every other year from being out of the playoffs, out of the playoffs, 3 wins, who knows. Culture is something that transfers year to year to year. The Steelers have it.
Yep.
They build it. Ohio State has it. You know it when you see it. We do have culture. It's bad culture, which is worse than no culture.
And here's the thing: sometimes you can give people credit. Hey, in 2023, they did a good job that year, right?
They did.
Look,
No, they
you
absolutely
can
did.
give people credit for that, but you can also say,
organization has a bad culture,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski
Is a victim of that.
is a victim of that on some level, and he hasn't been able to overcome it enough. He
Right.
did at times. He hasn't been able to do it consistently.
Right.
That's fair.
He's contributed to the problems,
Yep.
Yeah.
and now you're looking at the worst back-to-back of his tenure.
And we're just
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
keep,
by far.
we're just going to keep firing coaches, bring coaches in, blame that coach, fire the coach.
I mean,
Yeah,
but he's been here a minute, though.
fire the coach,
He
bring the coach.
And Jay-
he been 6 years though.
And it's going to be the owner the whole
But
time.
that's why I
firing
said
blindly.
at
Just
Shotguns.
firing blindly.
That's why everybody was right. Jay nailed this part. He does the best job of avoiding the landmines. They're everywhere in Berea, everywhere. You can navigate them to a certain extent, but you're going to step on a lot of them because they're everywhere. And so the reason why I'm really at like the hopeless wit's end of my fandom of the Browns, and I say that with all seriousness. I'll still watch. I still care. I wasn't even disappointed yesterday. I'm like, I knew they were going to lose. I expected they were going to lose. It was close, and I knew they would lose it late. It's just what we do. The reason why I'm hopeless is because I'm going to trust Jimmy to get it right now. I think he got it right with Stefanski, but to your point, the soil is so toxic he can't grow.
One of the beefs I have with Stefanski is he hasn't pushed back on Jimmy enough.
That's
I
fair.
agree with that.
That's fair.
I agree with that.
And it's like, if everybody in the league loves you and it's going to be so easy to get another job, then make more demands.
Yes.
I don't
And if he
disagree.
fires you, fires you. So
Yes.
what? You're getting paid anyway.
Yep.
I don't disagree with
Yeah,
that.
I
at
think
all.
you're dead on, Bull. At some point, your resume is worth fighting for your job. If you're going to fail, are you going to want to fail on your terms or his terms?
Sometimes
Because he's got a track record of failure. That is his track record.
As critical as I've been of Stefanski today, and I stand by everything I said, if I had to fire him or Jimmy, I'd fire Jimmy.
Like my buddies told me 15 years ago at ESPN, you can't fire the owner. You're stuck with them.
Sometimes when you get your first stop, at his next stop, Stefanski may look back and say,
Best thing that ever happened to him.
Yeah, I needed to grow,
Yeah.
and I needed that to happen for me. to
Belichick,
figure
it worked
out.
for Belichick. It worked for Baker.
Mike,
Sometimes it ain't the right place.
All right, next one. Charles T says, if the Browns are not a good team, that's on the coach. All coaches are paid to win with what they have and what they get. Develop a quarterback, develop an offense, develop a team and culture. This is his culture after 6 years now.
next.
Set apart Laz says, go back and watch the tape. Isaiah Bond was open all game.
Next.
Real quick on that, I remember after the Packers game, we got into that heated debate on whether or not Bond was open or not. G, do you remember? There's definitely a few times Bond was open yesterday. Do you remember him?
I don't remember seeing wide open.
I
didn't look at the
don't
all-22.
remember. I don't remember. See, here's again. Tuesday, I watched the film.
Tuesday,
So
Mike, Tuesday.
Tuesday, I watched.
So we'll
We'll
get
ask
back.
again
We'll get back to
Wednesday.
you.
Well,
on
you'll
Tuesday.
get back to me. Get back
Yeah.
to me tomorrow. I'll let you know.
But at first glance, I wasn't
it
screaming
wasn't-
at my TV that Bond was wide
yeah,
open.
yeah.
Next.
Vernell Jackson says your receivers are only as good as your quarterback. The only one who throws a catchable ball is Shador. We all know who the best quarterback on this roster is right now.
They got
don't.
you got to catch the ball. Listen,
we
you
don't.
got to catch it from Flacco. You got to catch it from Gabriel. I'm not about to give him that credit because here's the same thing. If Shador, here's what I'm telling y'all: if Shador Sanders gets in the game, right, You got to keep it consistent. If he gets in a game and he throws some of the same balls that the rest of them threw and they drop them, y'all going to be hot. Y'all going to be upset and say they should catch the ball. So you got to keep it a buck. You got to say if they're going to catch it for Shador and then you're going to give them out, you got to say they got to catch the ball, period. Because guess what? That ugly drop stuff will rear its ugly head on whoever's at the quarterback, and you just got to accept that. That's just what it is.
The Hot Saucers, what would you pick of these three if you had to right now to try and win the most this year? Let me start over. What would you pick of these three if you had to right now to try and win most of this year? Stud quarterback, elite offensive line, or 2 stud receivers?
Stud quarterback.
Yeah, that was easy.
That's a
easy.
silly question.
Yeah, that's silly.
Give me one of them Burrows or something, or one of them dudes. I'll take one of them.
Kirk Davis, Jay, to answer your question about who had input on the draft, I believe it was the football gods. I was iffy on DG, but I give him a B. I think he did pretty good for his first NFL start.
All right.
When you say DG, we got to get a new name
Yeah,
for
you
him.
can't be calling him DG.
Because Darius Garland is DG.
It's different sports.
And basketball is about to come up tomorrow. Bad job out of the Cavs guys. Cavs playing opening day.
It's preseason.
Preseason.
Yeah.
I know.
Preseason.
The
Let's go.
It's a long preseason through the middle of April. Let's
Yeah,
go.
look, and based on what we've seen the last 2 years, I care less about the regular season and not at all about the preseason.
Right.
Like, wake me up in April.
So, preseason basketball is wild work.
I'll see y'all tomorrow at the Cavs.
How many
Arena.
more
I'm
we
going.
got, Mike?
I have at least 3 more scrolls.
Okay.
So, Charles T
I got
says, Kevin robotic and blah, offense no fire, blah, team blah, culture blah, same old culture, blah, blah, blah.
Next.
Brody's bottom line, any good receiver won't look good in this offense because Kevin's ego won't allow it.
Next. That's a ridiculous comment, but next. Kevin's
Your beard's
ego.
better than mine. You're cut.
That crazy Kevin ego.
Careful, you're going to be a Kevin apologist pretty soon. Gonna hire him back.
Vanilla Gorilla says,
What a name!
What was it?
I thought
didn't
the
hear it.
Vanilla Wolf was crazy.
Vanilla Gorilla.
I am not going
With
that route.
Dragon
And
the
his-
Abandoner.
Jay,
Vanilla Gorilla.
his avatar is the
I love it.
Ben Affleck smoking a cigarette, looking all upset meme.
That's a great photo.
That he photoshopped the Browns jersey on. So shout out to the Vanilla Gorilla.
Vanilla's got creativity.
His name is Jason Stefanski.
Oh, come on.
Kevin James Mace Jr. says, why do they keep Judkins out for entire series at different parts of the game?
He had 27
Well,
carries. I don't know what you know. How many carries you want him to have?
He needed
44.
he needed water.
Next.
All right, just a couple left guys.
Yeah.
Kirk Davis says, my lovely wife would like to gift you guys a bracelet based off your favorite color or college you graduated from.
Ohio University, green and black. Yes.
I don't want brown and orange, bowling green, because people might mistake it for the Cleveland Browns. So give me red and blue for the Guardians.
Brockport Golden Eagles, green and gold,
Perkins,
baby.
get you
a
some
lot
Perkins.
of green,
Perkins,
right?
baby.
Kent State or Avon Lake, maroon and gold or blue and yellow. Blue and gold.
Thank you.
That's
Appreciate you.
very
Christopher Waits, for many of us who are younger, Baker is our Bernie, and we are just as mad as you guys were when they got rid of Bernie. The Browns have lost a ton of fans.
nice. In fairness, Bernie did a lot more here
Yeah,
than Baker
yeah,
did.
yeah. Come on now.
Bernie had 4 great seasons.
I mean, he was
the
all
AFC
in the AFC
championship
Championship game.
games.
Hey, until you get an NFL, Bernie had NFL film features. 50 minutes of Bernie
yeah, his was
Kosar.
called the Ugly Duckling or something like that.
And they-
literally the awkward ostrich.
And literally, they talk about he was the first supercomputer. There's like, yeah, he
They
just,
did, yeah. That was his
Literally.
superpower was
But his mental
Triz-
aspect. I thought I was the one
Triz
who saw that.
says,
Oh, dude, that was a great
great one.
feature, man.
Triz says, what's crazy to me is how Jason says they are a bad football team because they don't have competent quarterback play, but DG gets a B. ... Competent quarterback play.
I mean, I'm grading him on the fact of who he is and what he is. No one expects him to be a franchise quarterback for the next decade.
Jason was
For what-
grading on a sliding scale.
For what he can give you, you can only ask a guy to do what he's capable of doing.
You know, the
That's what I'm
Chiefs
grading him on.
have won games this year where Patrick Mahomes had numbers that didn't look as good as Dillon
Every
Gabriel's
time
did
but last
yesterday.
week.
Yeah, I mean, last week was the outlier for them
Well,
this
but they had
year.
been 1-2 before that, so they only won one
Yeah.
of those games.
AO the 1216 says Kevin had Jarvis, OBJ, and Njoku, Chubb, and Hunt. He still couldn't produce a top 10 offense. I don't want to hear about Kevin needs more talent. James May says, how much longer before the Shador storm starts to set in? It's just a matter of
weeks.
time.
2 weeks.
You think he's playing in 2 weeks?
No. He said the
said the
storm.
storm
is going to start.
Like if Dillon Gabriel
The
looks
clouds
bad
brewing.
in the next 2 games,
Yeah, then it's over.
you don't think that the Shador Army is going to be kicking at the door?
I don't care about the shit.
I've already heard some of them kicking at the door after Sunday.
Yeah, I don't care.
Next.
Well, I don't care either, but it's coming.
Yeah.
Matthew Dinkus says Bull will criticize the coaching in Cleveland, but yet defend the exact same situation in Cincinnati.
Bull is very critical.
P.S.
of the Bengals
I know this
coaching.
isn't
I
true.
hate Zach Taylor.
Yeah, I don't know
What are you
that guy-
talking
hold
about?
on. He watched the show one time
I
today.
wanted Zach Taylor. Trust me, I could go and do. You want me to rant about the Bengals? If I do talk about the Bengals, then you'll complain that I'm talking about the Bengals.
Yeah, no, that's just
I
not
hate
fair.
Zach Taylor.
Excuse me.
I would have fired him years ago.
Well, excuse me. You didn't let me finish the super chat.
Sorry.
He goes, ... P.S. I know this isn't true. I just want to see Bull get fired up.
That was
That's
awesome.
the walk-on.
Matthew
That's
Dinkus got you.
What's his name?
Dom
Matthew
DeMarco.
Dinkus got you.
He's
That
the
is
man.
great.
You're the man, Dinkus.
That
Nice
is
job.
so
He
good.
played you like
got
a
me.
fiddle.
Gorilla and Dinkus.
He knows me.
He played you like a fiddle.
And confirmed that this is all one super chat.
Got him.
Facts.
He got you.
Got him.
I love
All right,
it.
Grant's
That's really
Keem-
good.
Mad props to Matthew Dinkus.
That was worth
Grant's
it.
Keem says the Ravens are on pace to be the first team to allow 600 points in a season, and the Browns could still only score 17 on them.
That was
Brody's
good.
bottom line
These last
says
two.
Kevin will have six jobs, 6 fast food restaurant positions. Creative Juice says since leaving Cleveland, Baker has won 19 games on weekends that the Browns have lost, 15 times at Tampa alone. Jay's right, we screwed up.
Hey, can I ask a question about Kevin? Because I meant to drill down on this
I got
earlier.
four left, and then you can ask a
Okay,
question.
we've got 5 minutes.
Mike
When you
H
said
said-
that he would get a job immediately if he was fired, I think that was in the past. Even after last year's
Oh,
3
God,
wins,
yes.
as a head coach?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
He'd be hired tomorrow.
As a head coach.
I mean, that's being facetious. We're in the middle of the season.
No, I know what you
He
mean.
would have a head coaching
Yeah,
job
I
next
know what
year.
you mean.
Next year, without
because
question.
I kind of like him as a coordinator. I just
No, he'd be a head coach
I
next
don't know
year.
about setting
And
the
you,
whole
like, you don't have
move
to take
for-
my word for it. Ask Albert Breer. Ask Orlovsky.
Well, we'll
Ask-
find out. At some
ask-
point, we will find out. He's not long for this world. He's not. No, he's not.
Oh, we're gonna find
and I
out
don't even
pretty
know that
soon.
it's his
You know,
fault.
you know
but,
what it is. Like,
you know, at some point, Jimmy
Yeah.
will say, "I've got this figured out," and Kevin's not the answer.
Mike H says, thoughts on bringing in Jarvis Landry as a wide receiver coach? So you can have another Hard Knocks crash out on this pathetic wide receiver room?
I don't know about people's coaching.
Coaching's not for
acumen.
everybody.
It ain't for everybody.
It's an 18-hour-a-day job, and,
Especially
and,
dudes
and
that
a lot
made
of the
it.
guys that made their money,
Yes.
they don't need it.
I'm rich. I'm not
They
going
don't
to
want
work.
it.
it.
All right, we
Yeah,
got
that's
3, then
usually
Bull
what
has
they
something
say.
special for us. DB Dog 21 says, I watched a lot yesterday. Receivers were constantly making tough catches for their quarterbacks. We have none of that for our team.
Joker made a nice catch. He's a tight end.
That's
but-
nice.
3 Sip 12 says, make sure y'all tell us when Jason pees himself. And Star
coming.
Tarantino,
It's coming.
You don't see him maneuvering? He
I saw him a minute ago.
Star Tarantino
Back teeth are
says,
floating.
Star Tarantino says, what chance do you think Sanders will get his chance?
He'll play sometime this year.
And Grand YouTube channel says, how do you hate on your own players without seeing them? Like G. Bush, I played D1. Shador has the it factor.
Who's hating on him?
Not sure. But, Bull, speaking of,
Do we have to rush? Do we have to be done at 1? Can we go past 1?
we could go past one, yeah.
Oh,
right.
Jesus
But-
God.
Oh, no, he's got to wring out a kidney. He
But
can't,
hold
he can't
on.
go past one.
But I do have to leave at 1.
G has to, so we'll
So
stop
do
and
I.
fire back up. G
Like,
has to
literally,
get
I
some
do too.
Bull, Bull, you won something in baseball. Tell us about it.
All right. Yesterday, I wanted to shout out my guys, my boys. We won the Fall League Championship. There they are, the River Bandits. As you can see, I'm going to shout out everybody. So from the top corner there,
Is
next
that
to
Tanner
me.
in the middle front row?
What's that?
Tanner? From,
Tanner, yeah.
That's Tanner from
Great.
Bad
He's one
News
of my
Bears.
favorite. He's one of my favorite kids.
You
So
can tell he's got personality.
From the top, you see where I am. The guy next to me, that's Jeff Klingman. He's my bench coach. He's coached with me 3 times. He's an awesome number 2, man. He's the best. Then that's Aaron right next to me. He's kind of almost as tall as me. It's a little hard to see. I can't tell.
Yeah, he is taller than you. Yep.
I can't see their faces. We got.
He's gotten tall.
Oh, we got.
Bull, pull up your phone. You sent us the picture.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I know we're in a rush, but I want to mention all the kids that I'm a little blind right now. So
I don't know.
So
Did
am
you
I.
get blind early? Yeah, his eyes is crossed,
I told you should have left during Super Chat.
bro. That
Oh, okay.
The Dragon the
So
Abandoner
next,
chat. You
by
should-
the way, Aaron made the game-ending catch. All the kids ran out to the outfield. He made a running catch.
Wow.
We were winning by an okay margin, but
we're gonna give him
You got a
credit for
minute,
that.
Bull. Name these kids.
I think he said we could go a couple minutes past 1.
he has to pee and G has to leave. So
They can
we're
wait.
gonna
You
fire
can't
both.
wait
But
two
I'm not going to
minutes?
leave it.
Yeah.
I just can't.
That's
stick for long.
Elliot. That's Elliot Klingman next to my son. Elliot was one of our best players, shortstop, great player. Jack Ara, he's our catcher. He did a tremendous job. Last year he was our third string catcher, and this year he just improved so much. He's one of my son's best friends and great kid, great catcher. And next, that's Patrick Murray, one of our outfielders, another one of Aaron's really close friends. Owen Miller, he was the starting pitcher for us, and he pitched great. He did a great job in this game. Owen Town next. He's our MVP. He's one of our 2 top starters. He hit 800 on the season, had a great year.
What?
Yes.
So he never got out.
And this is a good competition. He had like 790 or something. Big Bradley Johnson, he came through for us big time, pitched the final inning to close out our come-from-behind semifinal win. His dad, Brandon, who's one of our assistant coaches too, and then our other assistant coach, Sean Fritz. I have a brain fart there for a second. On the bottom row, going right to left, Luke Barker. There's our team manager, Josh Lucarelli. Alex King, smallest kid on the team. He's the one on one knee holding the trophy next to the blonde kid. Alex is a baseball savant, our leadoff hitter. He runs like a madman. We had a great play planned yesterday. I said to him, when he got to third, I said, take a huge lead off third. The pitcher's going to throw to third base. You're going to go home. You're going to steal home. He did it, and he beat the throw home. It was awesome. Case Friedrich, next to him. Case is awesome. Alex and Case are 6th graders. They're great kids, great players. I've coached Case 3 times now. One of my favorite kids. Such a great kid. Paxton Fritz. They're all great kids. I love them all. Paxton Fritz was our 4th pitcher.
What a
he was
great name.
one of our 2 starting catchers. He played catcher for us
Paxton
as a
Fritz,
lefty.
yeah.
Great kid, plays good football too. Wesley Christ, good friend of my son too. He's my next door neighbor as well. He had a big hit for us in the semifinal game. And Keegan Fritz at the end, Paxton's brother. Keegan, man, this kid could barely hit 3 years ago. He's made incredible progress in the last 3 years, and he made the All-Star team. I got about 8 kids that made the All-Star team. That's how good we were. I had so much fun coaching these kids. They were great. If you want to show the video real quick before we go, and then we can wrap it up.
Yep.
This is a shocking moment for me. I did not expect this to happen. This was after the field. We were taking pictures by the scoreboard. Oh, you
got
missed
it too late.
it.
There it is. Now, did Vegas have odds set on whether it would be green Gatorade or orange? That was a great moment.
Oh my God, I was so gross. We went out to ice cream. We went.
You know what I love? They had consideration. They didn't put it over your head.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That was the coach of the other team, who's a friend of mine.
Oh,
and
wow.
He and his team, great sportsmanship. They had a great season. They pulled a big upset in the semifinals and to play us. And we actually went out to dinner together because he's a friend of mine.
You know what I most love about this? Fall baseball in most communities has died. Because you can barely get enough kids to have spring baseball.
And I'll tell you
and
what.
Football steals a lot of the kids away.
You know what, Jay? It's Rocky River Fall baseball.
I know you started this up, didn't you?
This year we added kids from Fairview, Lakewood,
Smart.
Westlake, Bay. It's open to everybody.
Smart.
You don't have to be from any of those towns. And it's made the competition better. You've met kids from other towns.
How many teams did you
It's been
have?
Great. We had 7 teams in each division. We could have had 8. The teams were big.
Now, Jay was hoping that you could read off the rosters of all the teams.
Jason, go play.
I'm meditating.
Well,
I'm meditating
Anyway, thank
right
you
now.
for giving me the time. These boys are great boys. Most importantly, and I told them this, not only are they really good ball players, across the board, all 13 kids on my team are great young men.
I love to hear it.
They were great teammates. They picked up, like the better players picked up the kids that were struggling. They were great teammates. There was no blame on the mistakes. And we played a flawless game. No errors in the championship game.
Very rare in the
Best
league.
defense I've ever seen at that level.
Very rare in
And
the
the
league.
reason why we stayed to do this is because we want to show you the respect. We ain't going to get up and walk out.
I appreciate it.
you guys. Congratulations to your team. And
Well done.
Back-to-back
best of luck.
championships. Thanks, guys.
Hold on, Jay, you can go pee.
I will see you in overtime. 2 minutes. Peace.